We gave it one prompt in the morning. I pissed off and went to the gym. And then 5 p.m. Archie and I were on a call with 25 video editors. I never write prompts. I speak everything. And also speed. Move faster than everyone else. Speed, speed, speed. Speed is the only moat.
I had investors lined up to raise like $250,000 and I literally built it in like a day. It was like
It can do anything a person can do on a computer. Imagine right now we've all got 30 Claude instances doing actually boring work. Like the rocket has taken off and you're either holding on for dear life or you're going to be having universal basic income. Those who are not embracing it right now are going to fall behind.
But this stuff is like literally making you like a superhuman now. The only moat that you have really is execution then.
The point of this is how does it directly correlate to revenue growth? And we'll go exactly into that. But first, a little bit of a background around me. So I've had a software development company for the last few years, and we've worked with some of the biggest names, biggest enterprises in Europe, and we've worked with some 9-figure creators in the info space. And now specifically, we're leveraging off everything we've learned with that. We went into our own software actually. We worked with some people like Mike Chang, who you saw earlier. But now we found such an amazing opportunity around operators, so that's Archie's background, and then AI for corporate businesses or for larger businesses. And we'll talk about exactly how we're leveraging AI for revenue growth. So Archie, if you want to give a little background around yourself.
Yeah, so my background, like when I was 17, I went straight into sales and just went through the ranks in sales, eventually got into info, started selling courses myself as a closer, and then started managing a few sales teams from that, and then went into like more operations and a bit more marketing, and then eventually met Alex, started partnering up with him when in like August.
Yeah,
and then we started doing Mentorly, which is do you want to explain what Mentorly was, the software?
Yeah, so leveraging off some of the stuff we've done with previous bigger creators, we created a system which can replicate all of the knowledge of somebody, so scrape through all of their YouTube videos, transcripts, everything, replicate their face, voice, so it looked like you're on an actual Google Meet with these people. Now we saw, okay, it's a nice to have, it's pretty cool that you can speak with Alex Hormozi or Sam Ovens on a video call, but like, how do we get the maximum amount of value from that? And then, if any of you have read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's Mastermind, like one of the last parts, where he speaks about, imagine having Elon Musk or Da Vinci or whoever in the same room together, brainstorming ideas back and forth. And we thought, based on the concept we did with Mentorly, cloning one person like Hormozi, for example, or Tony Robbins, how do we extrapolate that on the macro and then relate it directly to revenue growth? Relate it to actually improving your business, copy, sales, strategy, whatever. And that's exactly what we're doing now. So I'll give you a little actually story to start off. This was last week. We needed some video editors and we didn't know anyone. So I asked this system, which I'll cover in a bit. We need editors. It knew everything around the ICP we're trying to target, our goals, the revenue growth, everything. And it said, okay, no worries, I'll go out and do it by myself. So I then went to Omni at 9 a.m. in the morning. And in that meantime, it applied to onlinejobs.ph. It then created an account, applied, put a posting out there. It scraped all the video editors, put everyone in a big spreadsheet. It then got their phone numbers, emails, then went back and forth with them in their email, and then got that portfolio link, put all the portfolios, read through the portfolios in a Google Drive. And then by the end of that day, it booked, or it spoken to 300 people, and then it put around 25 people who were interested into a Google Meet at 5 p.m. that exact day. So all of that was done. We gave it one prompt in the morning. I pissed off and went to the gym, and then 5 p.m. Archie and I were on a call with 25 video editors, exactly matching the kind of style we want. Then we had the meeting, we gave them all the documents, and by the end of the next day, we've now got 2 full-time video editors. Now that's just one of the examples of the flows which we've managed to build out with the system. Because we've got such like an operating system behind everything, that's the potential of something like this. Now there's so many moments like this. I can imagine all of you like remember the first time you used ChatGPT, right? Like, what was a crazy? Who's got a crazy story? You got one?
No, but it's just like makes it, like for example, what is that? Anything like I had an issue with my scooter. Just take a picture of the thing and like, can you solve this? And I'm like,
yeah.
It's crazy. Okay.
For me, it was creating like 20 different tasks before I organize all the tasks for the team. But now I can just guys would just speak it out, and then they would just create the outsourcing doc, and I could just attach it like 10x my workflow.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
So I guess all of you have had that crazy moment when you use ChatGPT for the first time. It's like, I remember actually, I got it to write a letter to somebody, and the person responded like, wow, this is the best letter I've ever read. And this was like early 2020, end of 2020, I think. And that kind of moment, that kind of experience, Archie and I are having every single day. Like the online jobs thing, or the video editors thing, that's one example. Another thing, like, for example, we've got now a mastermind of all these people, Alex Brecker, Tony Robbins, Iman, Ray Dalio, all these people, to evaluate our ideas on how we market for hot property alerts or any other ventures we're doing. So we've got all of these people going back and forth, evaluating what the best strategy is, and all of this is based on the memory it has of our company, the goals we want to achieve, the ICP, all of this kind of stuff. Now, we can talk about the direct correlation to revenue growth, as you can imagine. It helps you get the ideas out there faster, test, iterate, and then also it does the simulation in the back end. But what the whole importance is, how do we directly correlate these stuff to revenue growth?
Yeah, so I can give like a more of a simple example on exactly how we did that, and obviously it's not insanely complicated, right? Because I'm non-technical, Alex is full stack engineer. But to give you a better background on what it's done for me, so for example, is with my Claude, this is not even using Claude Code, just Claude Chat or Claude Cowork. I have basically amalgamated an exact context document, which is what would be like the macro of like the overall outcome which we want, the specific ICP which we want to target for Alex and I's personal company, and also for Hot Property Alerts, which is one of our done with you clients, the exact ICP which we want to hit within the project on Claude. And from that, it's just an amalgamation of everything that we want to do with this company, where we want to go, exact areas and goals and targets. And it allows me to then have the macro. And then because I've amalgamated, transcribed almost, I think 1,000 YouTube videos which would be like 60 Bibles worth of information of just frameworks from all of the biggest mentors that I would normally be watching YouTube videos of, into strict frameworks, ways of thinking. Like for example, Jeremy Haynes. I no longer have to watch a video by Jeremy Haynes on how to optimize my pixel on Facebook ads to be the best, because it already knows that, because the framework's within my Claude code, not Claude, or Claude skills. And it allows me every single time I ask it a question, the micro to be done step by step for me. So really all I have to be is the creator, in the sense of having a longer term vision and thinking exactly how I can do something. And it allows me it basically gives me the step by step breakdown on exactly how that can come into fruition. Right, do you want to go into an example then? And
then what that really allows is for everyone to focus on the execution. The execution and the speed of what you move and what you do nowadays is the moat, is the most important thing. Because all the pre-work, all the research in the front end can all be done by a system like this, or an operating system, which you train on all of your company's SOPs, or you train on all of your whatever, your goals, your ICP, whatever. All of that stuff, and then evaluating against a framework, like Archie said, just cuts out that long back and forth testing period in the beginning. And then all you have to focus on execution, getting data, and then learning from that data, and then improving your company based on that. So, like, okay, all of this is a bit up in the air. How do we actually do this? And the first stage of everything is, like, we need to get the data. And I assume most of your companies, and we were speaking about this with Ismail, data is the most important stage at the moment. It's like, what kind of data does your company have, for example? What kind of...
What do you mean?
Like what data points are you tracking at the moment? What do you think? Like, for example,
So
you're running Facebook ads.
On the e-commerce business, mostly ROAS, cost per click. Ads we're testing was the kind of profitability of every single ad.
Yeah.
That's relatively it.
So all the ads, then you got sales rates, or you got...
For the Ikigai, we actually have not tracked shit yet, so
No?
that's something that we got to do.
And how come?
Laziness, I guess.
and what's that?
It's more about trying to find someone who can actually do the work, which is myself. And I think part of that is now maybe thinking about how I can work with Claude to be able to do the work with me versus finding someone else to do the work.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming towards.
Perfect, yeah. So as we mentioned, like, you got the ROAS, you got ad spend, you got whatever, all your Facebook metrics, what posts are performing well, all of this data is the most important first step to create a system like this. So if you've got data, for example, email reply rates, website visits, company metrics, close rates, salespeople, all of this kind of metrics is the first step of feeding into a system like this. And then what can we do to extrapolate that data, make that data even larger, the sample data set even bigger? Because I'm from a software background, data is the most important thing. The companies with the biggest data sets are the ones which are going to be the most successful, we think, in the future, based on what we speak about earlier. I don't really think software companies will exist. They'll be like data companies, and you just plug into like a Claude and you process that data. So around data, how do we extract as much as possible? So I assume all of you guys have got competitors. Your competitors are running ads. How do we track the data from that? What else? You've got market trends. What's the market responding to a certain topic that you want to do a video on, for example? All of this kind of stuff is data which is publicly available, which you can track along with your own company data and put into a system in the beginning. Then once you have all that data, then you can extrapolate it and then test it against a framework like which Archie was saying. So get Alex Becker, Alex Hormozi, Jeremy Haynes, whoever, Sam Evans, to then debate your idea back and forth and then put it in a simulated environment where it gets the best outcome at the very end. And then once you've got that, it's all about execution. And that is really the thing which we all need to be doing as fast as possible. Executing with speed and making as many failures to obtain that data and then feed that data back into the beginning part and then get that process to keep spinning. The more data you have, the higher or the more data points to create a really good operating system, which then can increase revenue growth. And that's the whole point about everything. So is there any questions, anything?
How do you get these people to debate your idea? Like, what input do you give into the system?
Yeah.
For them to be, it's not 100% authentic, but like, how many videos do you say? 60 transcripts? Or like,
Yeah, like over 1,000 YouTube videos I transcribed. And from that, just putting it back into, this is not even Claude Code, by the way. You can do this on.
who does that? Who does the transcription?
Who do you think does the transcriptions?
Claude.
Exactly.
So you basically just go give a prompt and say like, go to these people, go to YouTube, transcribe, like, really, like what's that step?
So the beginning stage is Claude now has the ability to access all of your external softwares. So you can link it to this software called, this is a bit more technical, but you can link it to a software called Appify, which is just a big scraper, which can scrape anything. And then you say, go to YouTube and extract the transcripts from Alex Hormozi's YouTube channel. And he's got about 300 or a few thousand YouTube videos or whatever. It then finds every single one of them. No human is needed to copy and paste the URL links because it can actually go out onto YouTube, transcribe, use those scraping tools, and then process all of those transcriptions into like a big framework which you put into then Claude as a skill. And you don't need to do anything. You just have to tell it to do it. You have to connect the.
You need the corporate package for that, right?
Well, it depends on the ROI. Like
It's like
Claude has 3 packages.
0.01 cents per transcription, like depending on what you do.
Yeah.
Like there's like.
All because of the data, right? Like you upload the slide of like a slide set of like 3 pages and it's like, oh, it's stupid.
Well, for example, if you think about it, Claude has a context limit of 1 million tokens. That's equivalent to around 60 Bibles. So 60 Bibles, I think that will be enough to transcribe all of Alex Hormozi's videos. But that's then once you've trained it once, you just like you've got the frameworks in place and you can do it again and again and again. You can open up 12 Claude Code instances. Like that's what we did the other day. We got all the big mentors like the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Ray Dalio, like all these big people because we wanted to think a bit more macro. How do we expand like Elon, for example? And we transcribe all of their works, the biographies on them, all written knowledge on these people. Now, this relates back to what we were doing in our previous company, Mentorly, where we would just do one person like Mike Chang, for example. Or, Mike Chang, Tony Robbins. And then, instead of just one person, we can now do it across as many people as you want, hundreds and hundreds of people, and then get them to debate your idea back and forth. And to get that framework of Alex Hormozi, or you just have to say one prompt with the correct connections into Claude, do this, and give me the skill, and then upload the skill into your knowledge base. And it does all of that stuff.
How many people is too much though? Too many to debate.
Yeah, well, it's not like it can.
Too many is too many.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you can't like obviously just keep the entire transcription. You're not going to have like 100 or 1,000 Bibles worth of information, which is within Claude. So you'd actually go out to Claude and you can provide it with the transcripts of, for example, 90 of a guy called Jeremy Haynes or Alex Hormozi's YouTube videos. You can say, based on these YouTube videos and the context document which you have on the overall outcomes, the macro of exactly what I want to achieve, I want you to go through every single one of these transcripts and find out exactly what frameworks from this relates the most to my goals, okay? And then from that, it can transcribe and get all of those frameworks which are the most relevant, and then make that into a skill. Now, for example, I've done a few things. So you can either make it into a specific skill, so you can have your copywriting skill, you can have your VSL writing skill, your sales skill, or your just overall marketing skills and just generic things. Or you can do other things, like for example, like what Alex was speaking about, having the ability to have like a mastermind of different viewpoints and ways that people think in order for basically to evaluate every single idea and angle that you want to go down. So the reason why that was really valuable for me, for example, is because someone like Ismail has a lot more experience than me. You know, his thinking processes, I haven't yet got enough experience hands-on in order to think like that. So what I can do instead is get my thinking and my ideas every single time, my macro reviewed by the thinking process of these people. And that allows me every single time to break down the exact steps. So I have the macro. This is, okay, I want to build a personal brand. I want to quickly be seen as an authority in the AI space. How can I do that? What are the first steps? You know, so for example, the reason why we're here today, we planned this event 7 days ago, okay? I said to my Claude, I want to be seen as an authority and Alex and I to be seen as authorities as quick as we can in the AI space because of the angle which we want to go down, which is getting more and more real estate for our done-for-you clients. And then also on top of that, helping and consulting more people on just generic AI workflows and overall processes. And from that, it basically detected, obviously I'm in Bali, it knows that because of my context document, and it also knows I'm young, right? So two things. If it knows I look young as well, it means I might have troubles, for example, posting value-based content because people might see me immediately and be like, I don't know if I should listen to this guy. And from that, it evaluated, okay, you have this client already that you can leverage off of who's in Bali, who you can film a video with, and you have these assets as well, you have your network. So from that, it just reverse engineered, okay, cool, you can do Mastermind, you could host this, and now we're here today, right? And then the next thing is how that next micro of exactly the step-by-step things to create this Mastermind, and you can go into what we did for that.
Yeah, so as you can see, data is the most powerful thing, and execution is the thing we all need to be doing. The early stages is now what AI can do. And how many of you use Claude Code? Like actually Claude Code in the terminal, in Cursor or whatever? That's very impressive. I'm very impressed. But how many of you have used the Claude Chat? Just a web app? Okay, there's quite a lot more people. Yeah, so there's still like, in this room of, yeah?
What's the difference between using like Claude Code and the terminal? Because I wasn't
Yeah.
terminal like Mac does, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's,
Is there functionality different or is it the same?
yeah. So the difference between Claude Chat and Claude Code, Chat is like ChatGPT. It's an LLM. Oh, it's the same thing. Claude Code in the desktop app, the terminal, VS Code, Cursor, they're all the same thing because they're all powered by the same engine. However you make it want to look, basically. And if you guys are using the terminal, I'm pretty impressed. That's pretty hardcore. If you guys are using the desktop app, probably the easiest interface. And the difference between Claude Code, and don't get intimidated by the word code, think about it. Everything on your screen or everything a computer does is created and operated with code, right? Therefore, Claude Code means it can execute code, it can execute commands. Therefore, it can do whatever a person can do on a screen, but with code. So for example, we can show you this later, or you can check out the Claude Chrome extension. It can click on your browser, it can click certain buttons. It booked me my flight to Kuala Lumpur the other day because I needed to do a visa run, all by finding the best flight for my situation, and then clicked on all the relevant buttons. Like that's something which you can't just do by asking ChatGPT, right? Because it can't take those actions on your behalf. So that's the power of Claude Code as opposed to Claude Chat.
How long did it take you to write that prompt?
Oh, I never write prompts. I speak everything. So I've got this extension, if any of you guys heard of Whisperflow? Yeah, so I'd definitely recommend checking it out. I just put Whisper Flow on. I speak exactly what I'm saying right now. I want to book a flight to Kuala Lumpur, blah, blah, blah. And then it's so good, I don't need to prompt engineer it. So I don't need to prompt engineer, say, most of my conversations, Archie knows this, is just in the villa chatting to my computer all day long. It probably looks psychotic. I'm just speaking to a big black box. But that's how we operate, and that's how we're far more efficient.
Right, you know, like I was at a couple of workshops and he showed us his prompts and I was like, Jesus, like, how long does it take you to write that prompt, you know?
Then what you could do, for example, and what I've got as underlying architecture, is you ask it a prompt in your messy brain dump speaking format. You create a skill to digest that prompt into a well prompt engineered prompt, and then it submits it. And therefore, you don't ever need to prompt engineer again, because an AI will be better at prompt engineering than a person. If you can explain, as if I was explaining to you how to do it, AI can do the same thing. So that would be a workflow. Use Whisperflow, create a skill to then prompt engineer.
Skills you have.
Oh, I have tons. I can show you, but like,
I have over 20.
Fuck, you gotta hack into your account.
You can use it.
and
Actually,
remind
you say.
funny,
Let's just go into it. Where's that computer? Is that your computer?
funny. Remind me at the. Oh, actually,
You'll laugh in like 20 minutes.
yeah. Remind me at the end about that. Remind me at the end about. But like, I've got skills in place to, for example, execute a workflow. For example, I tell it to, like, more so because I manage a development team, I ask it to manage or check the developers' work, what they do, and then rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, really harshly, on harsh metrics. So how good was the code quality? How good was the safety? How good was all of this stuff? And then tell me all those points needed to get it up to a 10. And then execute on those points, then reevaluate that out of 10 flow, and keep doing that until it's a 9.5 and above. Those are the kinds of skills which you don't just get by prompting ChatGPT. For example, imagine prompting it, then it has that prompt writer skill, and then it does the action, and after it does the action, it evaluates it out of 10 and then gets better and better and better, and then you have that skill at the end to learn from it, so it's always going to execute like that in the future. Like, that's the kind of workflows which will transform a business, as opposed to just asking Claude Chat, write me the copy for my landing page.
Do you have that as a zip file for all of us?
Fine. Okay, let's go straight into that actually.
So how would you divide your skills into Claude? So like, is marketing one skill, or marketing and then you'd have each skill in marketing?
So Claude has 3 things: plugins, skills, and connectors. Skills is exactly what I've been talking about, like distilled knowledge into like raw format, where you can get it and it'll think like however you prompt it. Then plugin is like a skill orchestrator. So you can have 10, 15, 20 skills inside of a plugin. So you can call it the marketing plugin. It'll have the email writing, SEO, AI, whatever. That will be the plugin. And then a connector is connecting an external software like Apollo, Appify, Facebook ads, whatever Figma, whatever kind of software you use, will have a MCP or a plugin connector. And if not, like for example, we're doing email newsletters from Beehive. And Beehive only has an API when you're spending, or you have 50,000 users or above. And we don't have that yet. So I've orchestrated a skill which accesses my browser usage. So it actually opens up its own browser. Then it knows my passwords and stuff. It goes into Beehive, takes a screenshot of my analytics, and then brings that back into the software. So I don't even need an MCP. So any software you do online can be put into a connector and access it through your Claude environment. Well, I don't give it all my passwords. I give it, for example, Beehives, and a Notebook LM, and some other ones. Like the ones which aren't going to change my life if it, yeah, exactly. So those are the 3 things Claude has. And yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes.
So you'd create a plugin which then has all the marketing sub-skills.
So for your skill, you break it down as specific as you can in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So for copywriting, it would be 1 skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For static creation is 1 skill.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to do marketing, throw everything of marketing into just 1 skill.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Separate it.
Mhm.
So it doesn't get
How does
confused.
that,
And the plugin is a skill orchestrator.
how do you orchestrate a plugin to orchestrate the skills?
You tell it to create a plugin out of this and orchestrate these skills into a plugin.
So like I would have Okay, say for marketing plugin, I have 5 skill sets. Say copywriting, media buying, so on.
Mhm.
I'll create a marketing plugin. I'll tell like, hey, I want you to use these 5 skills to orchestrate and then run my ads for me.
Yeah, but you don't even need to tell it to run these 5 skills. It will intelligently pick up
automatically pick it up.
which skills to use for a certain task.
Mhm.
So skills and knowledge, the plugins that the actual partner and the connectors do the job.
Yes.
Okay.
Skills and knowledge, plugins are orchestrator of the knowledge, and connector is sort of a separate thing. It just connects to, it pulls data from everywhere. And that's why we were saying earlier with Ismail's iClosed, Alex Becker did a video on this where he said iClosed isn't going to be a software unless it doesn't transition to an API or an MCP, because then all the data, all the valuable stuff Ismail has, will then be plugged into an interface like Claude, because that's where everyone will do all their work, or whatever the future is, and then it just pulls the data from there. And then the front end, or whatever you want to call it, will be vibe coded or done by however you create a software.
Now, when these softwares now do updates, how does that impact all the things you like the orchestration skills that you're building? Are you like oh shit moment, or you don't know what's coming and it can be an oh shit moment, or it doesn't impact you?
That's very interesting you mentioned that, because every day this week, or actually for the last 2 weeks, Claude has come out with a new update to Claude Code. For example, yesterday it came out with a Mac browser screen control plugin, or like a thing. The other day it came out with like an updated memory, and it's constantly updating every day. How do you know? Like how are you supposed to keep track? Well, what you can do is, I've got these YouTube channels which I track to know what the latest AI news is. So maybe about 20 YouTube channels. Every morning I get it to check if that YouTube channel has posted a new video. Then it transcribes all of those videos, see what the new things are, and then plugs it, then evaluates it on a scale of 1 to 10, how relevant it is to my Claude Code environment. And then if it's a 7 and above, it implements it without me doing anything. So, so always we're going to be saying, exactly.
So that's the flywheel, basically.
Pardon?
You still need to orchestrate it.
You need to have the foundations in place.
You can use Cowork to schedule that task. So for me personally, so like every single, and by the way, let's go back one step quickly to the skills. So like what Ismail was speaking, yeah, you can like script, for example, like a VSL based upon like the skill file, for example, on Jeremy Haynes, best way to write a VSL, right? But the next stage is how do you like evaluate that? Now, I use context documents, which are trained on like all of the thought processes of like a number of different people. So for example, Dan Kennedy on writing copy. So Dan Kennedy's copy can then reevaluate and audit that VSL which came out. And then it's a second layer, for example, on getting to that 80-20 of how much further AI can do the work. And then it's just me for the last like 98%. I'm just evaluating it, just making sure.
How many rounds of checks do you this?
I normally do 2 on everything I do. And pretty much every single decision I make with the business is evaluated by the skills and the frameworks and the context documents of the personalities of what my mentors are. So for example, Sam Ovens, Alex Hormozi, like big operational thinkers, everything I do is evaluated by their thought processes.
But the initial copy that you asked to write, it's going to use Hormozi's brain to write that original copy, and then it shows it to another mentor. Way.
Yeah, and then it can get evaluated by different people's frameworks, right? One issue which some people might come up with is, or what might come into your head is, oh, it's getting evaluated by way too many people. And what would you say is the solution to that?
Or you orchestrate the plugin, or you create a skill to orchestrate the best minds for your specific use case. And Claude has the ability to have memory. So you can create, to be honest, everything is solved with skills, really. You can create a skill, or it already does this, and this was the update that came out like 3 days ago, where everything you do automatically saves into like an external memory, and therefore every conversation you have has knowledge of the previous conversation, and therefore it's constantly learning, and it's creating an ICP, it's creating your profile, for example.
So, what's the priority, like the hierarchy? Because this is overwhelming.
Of course, yeah.
It actually comes down really simple. So, context document, everything, like you can use Whisperflow, a voice note, whatever, just everything that you want with your business or you personal. So for example, me personally, I have like 4 or 5 projects open on Claude, right? For my personal one that I want to improve on, Alex and I's company and a few of our clients. Okay. First thing you want to do is create a context document for each of those for the outcomes that you want. That can be re-evaluated by Claude. Obviously, you could put in a few skills. Claude already has a base number of skills. The next thing I'd say is start transcribing all of the people that you basically would be helpful to getting to that goal. So for example, in business, you could go through all the biggest business mentors in the space and transcribe all of that information. You can use different tools from that. The one I use, what do we use? Apify mostly.
Apify is the best for scraping.
Apify.
A-P-I-F-Y.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you can transcribe all of that necessarily data and then create the skill from that. And your prompt to Claude for that would be, create me a skill based off of these transcripts based upon the overall outcome which I want to go. And then you have the skill. And then you have the context document and then the skill. And then from there as well, you can ask it to create personalities of the people and the thinking processes which you want to undertake for every single time you make a business decision. So if you're like, for example, I'm thinking of hosting a mastermind, evaluate that based upon the overall outcome I want to get to, and do you think this is a good approach? And then it will come back to you and say, okay, yes, this would be beneficial, but only if you frame it this way, for example. And then it's like da-da-da. So the macro is you saying, okay, cool, I want to do a mastermind, and then the micro is the step-by-step processes that you need to take in order to actually get that towards your goal.
So the simple terms is modeling. So you get all of this mastermind and you just model them, but you can mix all of your masterminds and then just model them.
And for just to add on to that, you guys do not need to overcomplicate it. If there's anything you don't understand, who's the best person to ask? Exactly.
Yeah. Can we just have the MP3 so I can transcribe and get Claude to do it?
That's exactly how we work.
Yeah.
Like for example, Archie and I have these long conversations for 2 hours about how do we approach this. We just put the recorder on and we just transcribe it at the end and plug it into Claude.
Claude was, right? The little MP3 thing, it's called Claude.
Claude.
It's like a little voice recorder that literally transcribes straight into Claude.
That's what we were thinking of doing with Mike actually.
Yeah.
We were going to get him to record something, all his conversations, and then just create the biggest.
Even in the future. It's a transcribe.
But seriously, the most insane thing is that this literally made our software we were building completely obsolete in 2 months.
And this is what Ismail was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that's the thing. We pivot fast. We get the data. We fail. And
Should you guys not even hire people who can do this stuff? It's just fuck it. It's just going so fast. It's better just to create the skills internally and just think it through
I would
yourself.
say anyone you need to hire, or anyone in the for any of you guys as companies, everyone needs to be AI native or understand this workflow. And I know it's probably a bit of a training curve, but like if you can get the systems in place to get everyone using these stuff as effectively as we, even like 60%, even 50%, like that's going to be better than nothing at all.
AI powered everything, right? Because like a real estate agent may have all the understanding on how to sell something. It's just needed someone who can actually teach them the workflow and how to use AI to help assist that way.
You want to know something? Okay, let's go into the Trojan horse.
Well, I think we can go deeper first because, like, for example, that real estate agent doesn't really need to do that much. It can get Claude to conduct a full-on audit of his company and then audit based off of that all of his competitors. It can funnel hack it for him, and then based upon that, it can then suggest changes. You know.
Because for me, like how I've been looking at where things gain people who are actually good at it and then just implementing them in. I'm just seeing that like at the end of the day, it's better to get people who actually know things, but when you get people that know things, it's very expensive. So it's trying to balance that. Because in the day, people who are empowered with AI will work 10 times, 20 times, 50 times faster than a person who's not, or who can't think the same workflow as some things. So I'm just trying to see how to get that to the person.
Well, surely doesn't it start from the top? For example, if you understand it and you do it for yourself, then you can show everyone else how to do it. And especially with a workflow like this system, I would say, there's so many models, everything's changing. It was open Claude bot, which I think was a complete scam 2 weeks ago. It's
I actually got hit by an ad yesterday and went through this guy's funnel. His ad was literally, if you bought a Mac Mini and you couldn't set up Claude bot, then it go through my funnel. His offer is essentially to help people who bought a Mac Mini who want to automate certain tasks in his business, reduce like their headcount. So his ad was literally, his copy was directly to people who bought a Mac Mini but couldn't set up Claude bot.
So yeah, it starts from the top, and if you can implement it or learn to implement
So
it.
the education process is basically the biggest thing that is there, because we have a lot of knowledge bases on both ads management, comment moderation, customer service, every single kind of aspect. It's just getting someone who can help them understand the workflows. So how would you go about that to actually teach them that?
I would try to distill it in as simple first principles approach as possible. Like,
Do you have people that you have courses that are recommended on towards it, or it's just better first learn yourself and teach?
well, okay, you can get a course, but like think of, from first principles, what is the end goal you want to achieve? Like, okay, get your business 5 times revenue or whatever, and then just ask Claude based on everything you know about me. Break it down. What's the steps to incorporate until we get there, and then go step by step up the ladder. And like, for example, maybe you don't need an Appify skill. Maybe you don't need a Mastermind thing. Maybe you don't need, but you need something else in another direction. Then what we're saying is not like a general principle, everyone apply these skills, because and this is the beauty of it. Everything is tailored to every single one of you. Like,
Issues I see workflows everywhere. I'm very good with systems and understanding how A to B connects. It's just getting some fucking build because I don't want to build it.
Yeah. Well,
So that's the case.
Yeah.
Whether I guess just asking Claude to work with myself to work with Claude to build it versus
Or-
getting someone else to build it for me.
yeah. Well, actually, after this, I'll show you exactly.
Yeah, maybe I'll
I'll show you exactly the workflow.
Are you using like cron jobs or heartbeats for your Claude?
Well, I've got certain things scheduled.
Like for example, you said every day that it scrapes all these new YouTube videos,
Yeah.
takes the transcripts, and then feeds you all the relevant information about the tools, and then implements it.
Mhm.
Is that a heartbeat or a cron job?
That's a cron. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay, but you set that up, because if I say right now, is that going to automatically create me a cron job or a heartbeat?
Well, yeah, you can say to it, I want you to get these notifications every day.
Okay,
And I've got
that's
it set
gonna
up.
be code,
Pardon?
and that's going to turn into code.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends what your workflow is. Like the way I do it, and this is a bit more technical just because I like to work in VS Code or Cursor, is I have all the files and everything I need just in VS Code, and then use Claude as if I'm managing a code project. And then it just pulls everything, and then it's got all the cron jobs, and because it is actually code, it's executable, it creates the code.
Okay, so you work in VS Code, you don't work
In Cursor.
In Cursor, okay.
Yeah, same thing though. Yeah.
Where are you keeping all the data? And
Yeah.
if you're going to mention this later on, that's fine. But where are you keeping all of this data? And also, are you keeping all those files on a cloud or server or just on a computer?
So I do it because of functions like we were just speaking about. Every day I want it to do something, it needs to execute code. Therefore, it's on my local computer. So I have this big folder called Alex Assistant, and it has everything about me. It has but then also I have a big folder called Imperium, so the company, all the company's details, and I have client 1, client 2, etc. And you have all of that, and then they're all connected, exactly. But then to save it, so just in case you lose your laptop or whatever, you push everything to GitHub. And GitHub is just this big file storage place. So if you lose your laptop, it doesn't matter because you can just clone it from another device.
So again, just the way you explained it, it seemed that you're project-based, and then everything kind of leads into that project.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're creating skills and plugins. Skills are like books. Plugins are like a bookcase,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
And that's all within one project.
Yeah.
You just replicate depending on.
Well, what you can do though,
project.
you can create global skills. So you can create a skill which is applicable to your entire device.
Okay. So you like have that outside of the framework of each project.
Yeah, and that's in like when you install Claude desktop app,
Okay.
there's a big Claude folder in your thing, and the global skills go into that. So it's applicable to that. But then you can also create local skills for a specific project. And yeah, Claude will say, do you want to commit this locally, or do you want to commit this globally? And
this is again done through Claude Code, not Claude Chat.
yes, Claude Code. And the benefit of running it in Claude Code and doing a setup and pushing it to GitHub is I can access it from my laptop, but then when I go to Omni, I can access it from my phone and then message Omni. I message Claude from my phone and do it from there or wherever.
So what's the connector from your phone to your computer?
Because everything's pushed to GitHub, it's on the cloud,
Okay.
and then I can just access it from
It's like a
anywhere.
middleman.
Pardon?
It's like a middleman between the
Exactly, yeah. And yeah, to be honest, I just use a Claude mobile app.
Okay, just talk
Yeah.
about mobile apps, space it over the platform.
You can do it in Telegram, but I like the chat feature, like where you can sort out different chats. So
The voice transcription on the Claude is quite bad compared to GPT, for example.
Use
yeah, but then I
Whisper
just use my phone. My phone's got a
You use
transcriber.
Dispatch, right?
Pardon?
Have you connected Dispatch? Or
Yeah, it's dispatch.
Dispatch, yeah.
Mhm.
What is Dispatch? Dispatch is inside of Claude. It's a way that you can explain. It's a skill.
It's
Explain the full
dispatch. I was telling you, Claude has shipped a new feature every day.
Okay.
Last week they shipped something called Dispatch, which just allows you to message from your phone and connect to your repository in GitHub.
Okay.
It's just a way of, instead of accessing it from your laptop, you can access it from your phone.
And GitHub, obviously, is like a very techie thing.
Yeah.
What is GitHub?
GitHub's nothing scary at all. If any of you guys have heard GitHub, GitHub is just a file storage place. It's an online file storage place.
It's like
Developers use it.
Google Drive, but
Exactly.
Open source.
but why is GitHub better than?
Because it's free.
Just because it's built for it. It's built for large code bases, large code bases getting stored,
Yeah.
and like
Okay.
what is all your skills? It's just text files, so therefore it's easiest to be.
Rather you just ask Claude and fucking do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like reverse engineering.
I should have just asked Claude to do this presentation.
You have to have an understanding on like what is logically right as well.
But then you think of it from first principles.
First principles, and then you talk to Claude on how to do it.
You don't have to think from first principles. Claude can think from the first principles.
You don't even know to fucking think anymore.
This is what we're saying. So what's the next stage then, like that we need in your companies, right? Because basically, if what it's saying is that everything on the screen can like virtually be done and planned, right? So the only thing that matters, the only moat that you have really is execution, and like what the biggest areas of vulnerability are going to be the areas where you have to be speaking to someone else or something which doesn't involve the screen, right?
So in reality, when you do operations, are you guys really hiring that many people to just?
Well, the people now is the only thing that matters, really, because if you can do all of these things like copywriting, scripting everything, and anything else systems-wise, like whip it up, then all that matters is things like building the team culture, having the right setters, closers, and any other team members that you would have that you actually need to.
Just having the basically a player talent.
Exactly.
A smaller team.
Yeah.
Very, very high
So
level.
the human dynamic is the bottleneck.
The human dynamics is an accelerator.
Is the yeah.
For example, this whole gathering right now,
Sorry, you should
we'll get to you straight after. Like this whole mastermind or this whole gathering of us, we would not be able to get that with Claude. Like bouncing back and ideas back and forth, like hearing what your business takes are, hearing what the bottlenecks are, whatever. Like, this is because now we're telling you about Claude, and like this stuff will actually become more important, I think. Like having that community, having people, meeting people in real life, that is where, but that's also where the enjoyment in business is. Like, did you become an entrepreneur to look at a terminal all day long and prompt 12 chats in one go?
Well, it's more enjoyable to encourage people than do the work.
Yeah. And who are you encouraging?
You can only coach Claude now.
I'll give you more fucking tokens, baby. Come on.
And the thing about it is, there's three plans. I feel like I'm selling Claude. Like I should get an affiliate deal from this.
Three people getting their visions underneath your vision, and then it's just more fun because energy is more energy.
Energy. We're speaking about this in all the podcasts we've been doing, but energy is like this is what the real value is. I'm giving your energy, and then you're giving me back energy, and the same with the room. That's the valuable thing, and you get Claude to do all the boring stuff, all the ideation, and then you get to execute and give your energy out into the world. That's the powerful stuff.
Yeah, that's the accelerator, because I hate fucking accounting, but I'm great at sales, so if I have accounting taken care of, all of a sudden I love what I do.
Exactly.
There's nothing I'm not If I can just get rid of all the boring shit, then I accelerate in the shit that I love.
Exactly. Yeah.
What you love it too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to Amy. Let's get to Amy.
I think it's a good one. So obviously I have the pleasure of talking to these two guys and kind of learning a bit about the sales cycle today, and I use it daily. I think it's not just learning this, I think the difficult part, and genuinely I think this is important for everyone, is it's you thinking outside some kind of box to come up with the shit that you're coming up with, because it's not, like, yes it can do everything, but it's actually coming up with that everything and knowing what to ask
that's the only thing that matters now, being creative, yeah. Yeah.
Autism, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are...
But it's also not just knowing business, because this business has never been done like this before. So it's knowing business and then going, how the hell am I going to do this differently? Because now everyone's doing it. Everyone knows the basics of business if you're in this room. So yes, there's this thing to use, but what is the correct way to now use it as different to what was being done before? It's thinking outside the box and asking questions that are going to improve it. So not just going, this Claude, what's the update with Claude?
But then hence it's like why these rooms are so valuable, because it's the seed which gets planted, and then you guys can go back home and talk with Claude, how do I do this? And like these kind of ideas are the spark to everything, right?
So the question would be, for you guys it's simple because you've done it, and whether you think it's great or not, I don't know, but hearing some of the ideas you come up with, that's the part that I'm going, oh, I need that's brilliant. So do you have any more prompts or skills or whatever that you put in that you think, actually, these guys probably haven't thought of it, this is a great idea to share. That's, I think it's a
You guys got mad skills.
If you want to see some real tism. So, okay. So maybe we should do this on the whiteboard. So what we're speaking about with Ismail is what Ismail was speaking about as well as the quality of data, right? Like how can we have the best possible data? And this is going to go like pretty deep right now. And this is what we're on about with the Trojan horse, right? So all of you guys know Alex Hormozi, right?
Yeah.
So if you saw, he had a book launch recently, or a few months ago, 6 months ago. Okay, and part of his book launch, he had this thing called ACQ AI, which was essentially just an AI version of all of his frameworks, everything that he thinks basically like a skill right now on what a Claude skill would be. And he only sold this to people who paid, I think it was a 9K. 6K and up. So people within his prime ICP who are willing to pay him loads. Right, he could have, if he wanted to, give that for $50 a month to people, but he didn't. And there's one reason why, and that meant, and the reason was because he now has the data of the people within his prime ICP, because they're asking them the questions, right? They're asking, okay, this is my biggest issue in my business, how do I solve this? So he's collecting all of the data from what those people's biggest issues are, right? And what that allows him to do is go to the next stage, which is his marketing engine, on how he can create content only hitting that ICP of people who are the people that are going to pay him the most, right? Now, what we've seen and what we've been thinking, right, is because if you can do everything on Claude now except the things like team building and taking sales calls and stuff like that, then Alex and I, for example, aren't leaving Claude anymore. I don't watch YouTube videos on value-based content because I have scheduled tasks which go out there and detect from all the people which I'm looking to watch videos of, who I'd normally be watching videos of, like Hormozi, like Jeremy Haynes. All of this gets automatically transcribed if Claude feels like it's relevant for the outcome which I'm looking to achieve for my company and Alex's company or our clients. And what that means is that we're not really leaving Claude. We're not really using any other apps or YouTube or anything like that. And that's where we're getting to the point around speaking about MCPs and APIs and connectors. Like, for example, speaking about Ismail's company, how iClose would literally just have a connector or MCP straight to their database, and their data is the moat. Now, we've been thinking, okay, cool. If operators and if people specifically within our ICP, for example, are mostly business owners, so if a lot of people within business are now using Claude, and everyone is going to do the same thing, similar things to Alex and I, using Claude the most and not really going on anything else if they're an operator, which would hence mean they're within our ICP, how then can we market to them? Now, what we thought of, number one, the first thing we came up with is, okay, cool, why don't we use a skill as a lead magnet? So how about we make a skill on Imperium on helping companies with AI, which we did. And then we're like, okay, cool, so we made that skill into a lead magnet. Now we're giving people that skill for free, and in return, that skill is giving people a load of value and soft selling them, upselling them, right? Cross-selling, going back to our YouTube every single time they ask a question about AI within their company, then the skill will reference that to one of our YouTube videos. So we'll go to YouTube and pull it if it's relevant for them, okay? And they'll give them loads of value, and in return, it'll be like, okay, cool. If you want more information on how to implement this for your business, you can go and watch the rest of this YouTube video, okay? And then they will give it the YouTube video link, and you go on a YouTube video. And the further deeper down it goes you can eventually get it to a point where you can give it an iClose link or a Calendly link to book a call if you want to done with us. Right, and this is the next stage. And what is that next stage? It's...
Oh, should I draw it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you give them a skill as a lead magnet, something really valuable. It's like a skill trained on 10 Bibles, 100 Bibles worth of information, or maybe even a plugin or whatever. Then they install it. It provides them value. Like you guys were asking, oh, can you get my skills? 100% you can get my skills. Maybe then I put in a little extra thing being like, okay, did you get use from that? Maybe this YouTube video would help you out a bit further. And then based on that information, it can track a bit more. And then maybe at the end when you can't do it yourself yet, or you're just frustrated, oh, book a call with us and we'll help out. Okay, that's step number 1. Then we thought, how do we track that information? Because it's a skill, right? Skills live on the person's Claude instance, and we don't get to see the back end of it. But with what happened with Hormozi, he had the 6K people ask the ACQ AI all the questions about how do I improve my marketing? How do I improve this offer? I assume probably a few of you maybe have purchased that. Then what he does in the back end is he knows now all the questions the 6K and above people, all the dedicated Hormozi hardcore fans who bought a 6K package just with a one-click upsell are asking. And then he can extrapolate all that data when he does a next book launch. He knows exactly how to market towards those people. He knows exactly the questions they're asking. He knows exactly the data from all these thousands and thousands of questions which his most valuable people have been asking. Now he writes a book. He knows exactly how to target them. He knows how to do ads towards them, all of this kind of stuff. Now, how do we apply that logic for ourselves? We extrapolate all the skills, the valuable stuff we've been talking about here. Then we give you a plugin or we give you an MCP, which you then install in your Claude instance. And it gives you all the skills, it has all the plugins, it has all the hundreds of skills I've created, right? But then it has a skill as well, which links everything to a backend. And then that backend knows exactly the questions you guys are asking. And then it knows exactly where the kind of stuff you're curious about, the kind of stuff which would help your business and all that. And then we know exactly what questions you guys are asking, and then how to market towards you via email, newsletter, Facebook ads, or whatever. We can extrapolate that large amount of data, understand our ICP a bit better, because data is the key part.
And the quality of data.
And because we're giving you so much value, now this is why we call it the Trojan horse. You give the value. In return, we get a bit of your data. And this is how all MCPs are working. So be careful when you guys use MCPs. They're collecting your data in the backend. That's what they were specifically built for.
I think in general, what I would be curious about from a safety perspective, right? Like, because Claude gets access to everything.
Yeah.
Now, what not to do? If you're now new in this AI game, like, if you just start downloading everything, or like, to your point, like, oh, somebody sells me something, oh yeah, let's download it. Like, how to be smart about this?
Exactly. And this is one thing about OpenClaw. OpenClaw is built a few months ago. Open source, probably hosted on a VPS, super unsafe. And there's been so many instances where OpenClaw instances get hacked, all those API keys, everything gets leaked, and it's a nightmare. Now with Claude though, as you guys may have noticed, Claude is a little bit cautious on the safety side, probably more cautious than any other AI company in the world, with their US government deal, with everything else that Claude has been doing, Anthropic. So yes, I completely agree, don't trust it with all your data. And that's why I'm putting it on my local device. Because otherwise, if they want my data, they have to take my laptop. And otherwise, they have to hack into my GitHub account, which GitHub has.
Do you have like what you use where you're using Claude as a separate device from like your personal device?
I do it on my actual device just because I say only access this file. You don't need to do anything else outside that file because I open it up in Cursor and it's just that.
But does it
file.
know that outside of that file is?
It can, and that's the thing. You can give it permissions to do that. And all of the people who've used Claude, they have that ability to auto accept on, or dangerous bypass mode. So you can, but Claude specifically makes it difficult to access that because it doesn't want to be held liable for any of this kind of stuff. So that's the safety side. I would personally trust Claude code far more than OpenClaw. because it's an open source software hosted in somewhere where no one knows, developers haven't been vetted, it's been some random developer who built it all. Now with Claude, looking from their track record and their AI safety, then looking at that, and then hosting it on your actual device, putting it onto GitHub, probably one of the safest places, because every single Fortune 500 company has their code bases in GitHub. And if someone would have hacked into it, they probably would have hacked into a lot of other companies as well. But like Stripe, everything's on GitHub. Imagine Stripe was hacked. Well, it can happen, and that's why. But like, for example, nothing online then you can say is safe. So we try to play onto the safest instances we have. GitHub has a very good track record. Anthropic has a very good track record. And then if you save it on your local device, that's as opposed to Claude bots or OpenClaw, where it's trusted by or built by random open source. Anyone can contribute to it, and on a VPS. Like VPSs are notorious to be hacked.
Do you put on bypass permissions when you're using Claude? Like, I was so tired every thing I asked it, it gave me like, are you okay for this? Are you okay with this? I kept saying yes, yes, yes. I just said bypass permissions, and I just forgot about it. It gave me a huge warning sign.
Yeah.
You might lose all your data. I'm like, okay. Yes to that.
But it wouldn't.
Is that a smart move or no?
I do it. Everyone else does it.
You do it too.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not going to destroy your computer unless you tell it to destroy your computer.
No, that's not a good prompt. That one I want.
Yeah, I would not recommend creating a skill to destroy your computer. And
so I guess like all your bank passwords, you definitely do not auto save, right?
No, but yeah.
You fucking probably do it.
Well, I got it to do.
I can get credit card and that type of stuff, but like I guess.
You give credit cards to it.
No, I would though.
Well, maybe like a safe environment.
Max spend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, I didn't do the payment. So it clicked on all the stuff. When it got to the payment, it halted and it said, input your payments. And then I finished off the rest.
Yeah, but like the browser, like sometimes auto-saves passwords. Right?
Exactly, but it's specifically built where it doesn't use your actual card. It's got like some hard, like for example, Stripe has this thing where it's like a invisibility filter. You know those buttons where it's like, verify you're not a robot. It's got like some invisibility cloak where AI can't see it. Same with Stripe. And these browser agents can't do that kind of stuff.
How are you guys sharing your Claude skills? So I've worked with Claude some, but I also have been using ChatGPT mainly for custom GPTs that are easy to share because you probably shouldn't share them. Are you guys having like a zip folder with those, which is a little complicated for people to use if they're using VS Code and local, or can you package them up into a Claude project?
Yeah.
I just haven't tested that.
You can package everything up. You can share, like for example, you create a Claude Teams plan and you share the skills across. For example, Claude even has its own store, like developed Anthropic skills. Like for example, there's a skill which is skill improve a skill, which every time it creates a skill, it improves that skill, so that it follows the best practices.
And where do you find this Claude marketplace?
You go onto Claude and it's an official Claude marketplace. It's in the Claude app. You type /plugin or / skill, and then it opens up that big library.
Is it not skills.sh?
No, I think that's a third-party thing.
Skills.sh, there's the top skill is the one that auto-finds skills based on the task that you do.
Maybe, I haven't.
You don't do that.
No, I haven't.
So let's just give a wild thing. There's a guy that I'm operating. They give out, say, 2,000 to 4,000 comments a day.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be able to obviously reply to every single comment and actually have DM coordination with it because we're getting so many comments that are coming towards that.
Yeah.
You would, obviously right now with my guy, I'm doing a Claude bot that this guy's building a Claude bot to basically operate on the back end, taking fucking forever. So would it be better to just work with Claude Coworker and basically download the skill and then get it to run automatically? What's that all I know is the Claude bot is the MCP that can run automatically. With Claude Coworker, it's the same shit, right?
Claude Code and Claude is recently, over the last week, while I was telling you, they've shipped all the features where there's no difference between Claude Bot and Claude Code.
Okay.
There's no difference
so
between.
That was the only thing about the autonomous.
The autonomous thing, yeah, linking it to an external server.
Yeah.
Now you can link it to an external server. There's Claude Cloud. Claude Cloud, yeah. Claude Cloud, yeah.
Okay.
A Claude came out.
Yeah.
When was that?
1 hour ago.
Yeah, probably while we're doing this speech, another thing has been shipped, and yeah, this and how is Anthropic shipping so fast?
Because of their highest model that they haven't released yet, only to the government.
Apparently, yeah, but they've yeah. Actually, I heard about that. That's
They were working skills years ago, weren't they?
well, yeah. As Ismail was saying, they hire like one data scientist or one engineer, who then knows how to orchestrate a bunch of agents and get Claude Code. Actually, Claude Code was built not as an external tool. It was built to help the Anthropic team in developing Claude. And then they realized the power of it, and then they shipped it, and then it went super viral. Like, that's, yeah. So, if you want to talk about AGI, maybe we're here. Like, based on everything we're doing, it can control your computer. It can do anything a person can do on a computer, right?
It already makes sense for boomers.
And we can. I think there's going to be. It depends how deep you want to go, but we can. Should we have like a little therapy session right now about are we all going to have jobs in the future? What does universal basic income?
We're not the top. We're on the bottom, so at least we're the top.
But like, for example, if you're innovating, if you're using this, if you're riding the wave, like for example.
That's what Claude makes the new update.
Maybe, but like for example, any of you guys seen like?
Oh, you see the chart thing on Twitter where it's
Yeah.
like how many people actually use it?
Yeah.
Daily? It's like 1% or something
Like 1%, and then the people out of that 1% who actually use is like the 0.001%. So, like,
You say that. Yeah. You say that. You can like look at, just compare the industries. Like for example, Ismail came and you saw the level that he was talking about in the info game and like the level of just operational knowledge as a CEO he has. If he was to go to an industry like real estate or a more corporate-based industry, he would like be like this is the kind of guy that could be a billionaire in that kind of industry. You know, I think like just like you can just see how slow other industries are to adopt these kind of things, and just the general public. That it's not really like we still have like a few years, I hope at least, with this kind of thing, you know, like.
Well, it depends on the country too, right? It's like,
yeah.
It depends on the country as well. It's like Indonesia, for example, is more for us, or my business partner, he still has a coffee cart business.
Yeah.
It's $200 a month. It just gets 30 people, pushes them in, and then it's different.
Yeah. But like also looking at the rate of innovation, like. Everything has just been going like that, and all of you guys, if you guys have heard of singularity, where you like approach almost like the vertical exponential, like here, and this goes almost vertical. Like we're probably somewhere here right now, but like in the last 6 months it's probably here, but in the next 6 months it's going to be up here, not this difference. We're going to be this difference, right? And like those who are not embracing it right now are going to fall behind. It's not like the train has left. It's like the rocket has taken off, and you're either holding on for dear life, or you're going to be having universal basic income or whatever. Whatever. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but that's going to be the most valuable skill set in the future. Like plumbers are going to be paid more than data science or engineers or software engineers. I mean. Until the robots are there.
That's also doing that.
2 years. Elon said 2 years, and we're done.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
so we were just having a conversation outside, and I actually would like to know your opinion on this. So, thinking about building apps and shit, making businesses, and the different types of businesses you can have. Now, in terms of specifically online, like no physical product, all online stuff, SaaS, whatever. Is it even worth starting it right now and learning it when in a year's time you won't need to know the prompts? Like for example, I just spent the past year doing all the like automations and make.com and all that, like but fully learning it, learning the configurations and everything. Completely useless now and what waste of time. Is it worth me spending the next 6 months figuring out certain things where in a year's time you're gonna have to say one sentence and it will flesh out everything?
Yeah,
Is it worth building a physical product then?
But I don't think anything's lost. Nothing's like, for example, okay, I spent the last however long few years learning how to code, developing. Is that lost because now AI can code better than 99% of humans? I wouldn't say so. It can make me 100 times more efficient than an average coder. And it can make all of you have business acumen for years and years of experience, right? It's going to make you 100 times more efficient. So,
is there certain things that are worth learning and spending time on that aren't, like, just given how quickly it's updating?
well,
Is it worth learning how to make skill or whatever it might be where it's kind of be redundant in a week's time because it's doing what I've been asked?
I understand if there's certain things, for example, copywriting, for example. I don't see too many courses on copywriting nowadays, like manual copywriting.
No, because it's still worth, like, like the skill isn't going to do everything, you know. You still have to do the execution. It's like if you don't know how to...
Yeah, exactly.
You still need the sense of
Yeah, you need the look.
the taste, and you'll never get
Exactly, that's the same thing as like the benefit of being still
like
reading code.
right? Like if you can understand workflows, now you can just communicate this to Claude on how the workflow should be.
Exactly, yeah.
In that process.
But, and this is what I mean, so this is really beneficial now because I can explain workflows and exactly how I think the system should be running because I do have this experience. But I also feel like, so making automations feels redundant now. In a year's time, well, even having this knowledge be redundant because it's got that knowledge. It doesn't need me to explain it because it's doing it. So I'm wondering now, like going forward, what is worth me putting my time and effort into actually learning that will continue to stay beneficial and not become completely redundant?
Well, because you learned make.com, that has led you on the AI journey to where we are right now. Otherwise, imagine starting from zero, having never done any of that stuff. It would sort of seem a little bit out of reach, but you've been on that path. So that's why it's valuable. But for example, if you're on that path now, you can be the first one to, but it's not going to be like, it's not going to be like this and then that. It's going to be a gentle curve. And if you're or gentle right, or not gentle, it's going to be an exponential ride. But at least if you're holding on to the rocket or if you're on it, riding the wave, then you're going to be the ones that leverage it. And like this has been seen throughout, like if we want to talk about Ray Dalio and like world history and the cycles and like the dot-com bubble or the Web3 bubble or any of these kinds of bubbles, all these things happen the same. How do you just hold on to it and ride that wave, right? Maybe it crashes in the future, but at the end of the day, it's going to be beneficial in the long term. So nothing's really lost. I wouldn't say everything's a learning experience.
There's something as well that I saw that like LLMs were the reason why ChatGPT originally took off was because they realized that they could scale it like massively from the first model. But apparently there's like a scaling problem for a lot of AIs, and I don't think like a lot of the research is saying that it won't ever get to the actual point of like singularity. It will start to slow down eventually. Well, we are on that, but it will eventually start to plateau a little bit. So if anything, that's a good thing. It's like learn it. If you learn it now, it's not. I don't think it's going to be as fast getting to the point of it literally doing everything for you, like AGI. Wake up in the morning. My screen is just an AI that just like uploads data. I mean, that's going to take a lot longer. So I think like I was watching a podcast about it. Like Daniel Priestley was on Stephen Butler last week saying the exact same thing. It's like I think it will eventually not reach the singularity, and that will take a longer time, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just something that data feels. Just think about the data centers you need to have, the energy that you need
that's
to
the
have, that's why
financials
the world is
as well.
upside down.
And what's Elon doing right now?
Question, like how do you feel all this?
Yeah, but what's Elon doing right now?
Yeah.
Planning to do data centers in space.
Fucking rockets, baby.
Yeah,
Trying to make them in the ocean as well.
maybe.
GPUs ain't us for it.
But yeah, this is a very interesting conversation we can have around the future of AI, future of humanity, energy. Like we can.
Who is actually talking about this universal income? Is actually somebody like in the government talking about
Oh,
this,
it's-
or is it just an idea that like people say like, oh, they want to give us something, you know, or it's going to be like Hunger Games, districts, whatever it was.
Yeah, we can dive into like politics of it, maybe. Yeah, there's few sources like World Economic Forum or talking about this stuff, but let's go back.
It'd be really annoying for everyone in the room, right? Like, just really quickly, I just want like meta lesson this, right? The whole point of this conversation, like, I just love where we're going, and the emotions are riding high, they're riding low. The one thing that they're saying from this is, what is your outcome? Get the data, make the decision, and do the execution. We can go out into the future, we can go into, what's this, what's that, what's this, AGI, robots, all this shit. Great, today is the 20-something of March 2026, right? We're ahead of the curve, we know where we're at, right?
Mhm.
Execution, that's our responsibility, and the time is now, right? The future, honestly, like, it's
going to play out to bliss and abundance, or we're all dead. It's one or the other. Okay? it's pretty much it, right? So just like make hay while the sun shines. We're in Bali.
You couldn't have said it better. You couldn't have said it better. We actually have a few more. Wait till we get on the second slide. Now we're going to talk about dimensions on the first slide. But that goes exactly back to what Finn was saying.
Can I jump in just real quick about your one skill to learn? Because I wasn't a programmer, and not that comfortable with development environments using terminal, and especially now learning skills. And I've been learning about setting up agents and open thought skills and just kind of hierarchy. And there's a lot of stuff that I took away from here, especially setting these up to have your ultimate influencer AI making decisions. Really valuable takeaway. But just getting used to using GitHub and local files for me, just this week even, I've been able to do way beyond what I ever thought possible for SEO stuff and this kind of creative link building thing. Talk about it and just creating static sites and different things. And it's like, that's been a really empowering feeling to see what's possible and so much faster by plugging it into your local computer. So that's like the one skill I would say, because once you understand skills, context, and all that, and then how to plug it in separate from the application where you're just typing in, waiting for an answer, typing in, waiting for an answer. I'd say that's kind of the more evergreen skill going forward.
Well, what was the skill before that though? Learn and fucking execute.
Oh yeah, hey, I'll come back to this.
Learn and fucking be a monkey on a computer.
Learn and also speed. Move faster than everyone else. Speed. Speed is the only moat. Like nowadays, anyone here, like for example, you created a software in 2 days or a day, having not much coding experience.
Well,
yeah, if you want to.
I had investors lined up to raise like $250,000, and I pitched it to them, and they were like, "Cool, okay." I sent it to Alex on like Thursday. We chatted in Nirvana, and he was like, "Look at Claude," and I was like, "Okay." Claude. And I was like, okay. And then I built like stuff in Webflow and ChatGPT in the past, and I literally built it in like a day. It was like a 15-hour day, but like been up at 4 a.m. and smashing it out. Yesterday, I showed it to my fiance who runs the business. She was like, "We stopped all the funding right now. You're building the whole thing this week, and we'll probably ship it next week." And it's like, again, we'll probably get 80 to 90% of the way there. There'll probably be some inefficiencies where I have so many people that I can test it on, and I can see the data, and like I can then plug that back in. And then like actually more of it. So yeah, like literally $250,000 of dev costs easily, like saved for like $200 and a lot of time. But
and then what does that like really mean? Speed is everything. Like anyone can now build an app, and anyone can build software, clone iClosed, do whatever. But speed is the key right now. And the reason iClosed is valuable is not because anyone can clone the interface or good design, it's because of the data they have in the backend. It's because of the workflows, because of the idea.
And relationships too.
Testimonials and So speed, like maybe the meta lesson after Finn's is execute and then speed, faster than everyone else. And this will allow you to be faster than everyone else. You've seen Hormozi, he's posting like 20 pieces of content a day. How can anyone compete with that? Because if you have systems like this, you can compete with that. And that's how we can ride the wave, and therefore speed, execution equals revenue.
Let's speak about let's go deeper into systems around, like, for example, like operator terms. Maybe we can go a bit into info and whatnot, but like, let's say, for example, what workflow could look like of improving your data so you can improve your overall, like, for example, marketing output to get more leads, attract more customers. So say, for example, sales team, sales calls, fathoms, recordings, transcripts, and then do you want to speak about that?
Should we sort of battle test this in real life? Anyone want to give an example, and then we just sort of would work out? Yeah.
In terms of, I have like a GPT. I used to train all my sales guys, and now I literally made a GPT to train them all up. I got all of Hormozi's workbooks, playbooks, all his YouTube videos put into GPT, and then they literally train themselves. And at the end of the call, they input their fathom, and they get an instant, like, they can see out of 10, all that kind of stuff. They get instantly.
And then have you tracked the data, and is it improving the sales calls?
Okay, so for example, are you tracking the data from the transcript of what the objections of that person was?
Yeah.
Okay, and the overall values and how they thought?
Yeah.
And, okay.
Yeah.
So the next stage, for example, is creating that sort of sandbox of replicating things. How can we like create an own environment of the values and the objections and the mental models of these people, for example, to test what ad copies could be and what the best ads, for example, could be. So Alex, you want to explain how that could potentially work?
So the first step, as what was our first step here, is data. You need to get tracking the data, the close rates, the objections, the sentiment analysis, and all of that kind of stuff from the call. Then you can, it depends how many calls you're doing, you're saying 40 a week, so you can extrapolate that from all of the, you're using Fathom or something like that, I assume? Yeah, so you can extrapolate all of those calls, the last few weeks, hundreds of calls, and then you can sandbox it and plug everything in with Claude into like its own environment, and then understand the objections, understand what the closers are actually framing it like, and then you can then iteratively improve and then create skills in place to then train the closers to fix whatever the issue the data is bringing up.
Nice. And is there like a GPT interface in Claude that can do that, so I can give it to my closer?
Yeah.
Would they have to have my login?
No, you create a skill and you create a skill and you give them the skill, and then they go back and forth.
Great.
And then the beauty of a skill is you don't have to read three pages of SOPs. They know exactly what's going to be relevant to them. That's why Archie doesn't watch, or Archie and I don't watch YouTube videos anymore, because we just plug in a 20-minute video and we get the 1 minute which is relevant to us and then tailor to our specific situation. And maybe
we know exactly what to do at any given point to move the needle the most.
And that's why I see like personal brand content being a huge thing. Like,
This goes back to my question before. Just like, where are you putting all this data? Is it like Superbase, Airtable?
data for what?
Just like this massive amount of data. So like all these fathoms, right? Are we keeping all that in Fathom? Like all of our data is on high level, so just pull it the API straight to a high level, so we can pull from there.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, where are we going to like store outside data that's not on platform? Are you just Superbase in there?
Yeah, you can do it Superbase, whatever. Superbase is really simple. All you have to do, and I showed Ollie earlier, you just have to press MCP or connect MCP and then copy that and paste into your Claude code, and then you're connected forever. And all data is just put in one place. It's like a big spreadsheet. Yeah.
Have you built something like, so you track a few YouTube channels, so like anytime they release a video, like the upload skill is going through those videos, and they just, if there's anything relevant to these videos, they just send you something, like, so basically you have some kind of digest of all the relevant information from new videos published on a daily, weekly basis of channels that you tracked that could help your business.
Yeah. I've specifically got all the channels which do AI news, like updates on Claude, updates on new plugins or whatever. And maybe there's about 20 channels.
Yeah.
And then it just scrapes from that list every day.
Where
See if,
does it go?
so it scrapes from it, reads all the transcripts, and then it sees if those transcripts are useful and applicable to the situation I'm in, my Claude Code environment, because it has all of that knowledge. And then if it's useful, pardon? It sends me a Telegram message every morning. So I've got it from Telegram, but you can do email.
Like a newsletter, basically.
Exactly. And it says, these are 9 out of 10 relevant to you, this is 4 out of 10. And then I can just click one button or say into my Claude chat, execute on items 10, 8, 7.
So how do you, for example, I was speaking to Claude about where there's this manager agent and there's sub agent. How do you kind of all the things if it's just fucking up in terms of getting anywhere?
So if there's any issues with Claude or it's not responding how you want it to, you know how you use Claude or ChatGPT and you keep messaging it in the same chat, and it gets worse and worse and worse. Now all you have to do is truncate that, maybe put it into like or because it updates everything in your memory, you just start a new chat. Maybe if the data is too much, 300 orders may be too much because it's got sub-data inside. You just break it down into 50, and you do that 6 times in 6 different chats, and then orchestrate it all together at the end.
And then when you have MCP that's running automatically, so for example,
And the MCP can do that
so
automatically.
we're doing an automatic handwritten robot that writes letters that then get shipped into every single order based on what they order, whatever, right? It's like, A, how do I not write the same fucking letter to the same person? B, how do I customize it so it's valuing them based on how much they order?
Yeah.
And I guess that's just this flywheel that I'm trying to understand. Just to catch
Or is it all? Where is it all managed? What's the data?
What do you mean by that?
Is there a place where you have all the data?
I guess everything's on Shopify, but nothing in terms of external. Well, actually, truthfully, I don't know. I just give the guy the idea and fucking cross my fingers he can do it.
Or you can connect. I'll try it out tonight. Connect Shopify's API or MCP into Claude, and say extrapolate this data.
Okay.
And then how?
And then when this thing is running all the time, it's just running on a side program server. Like I know Claude bought the reason why you had it on Mac Mini, so it's running all the time on that Mac Mini. Same thing as Cloud now. Same shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, to be honest, I don't even have it running off in the background. I just set triggers every day. And I say at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, do this, and then it does everything and then gives me the report.
Does it through the cloud?
Yeah, through the Claude Cloud.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how it's able to do.
Yeah.
So a week ago, before the cloud didn't exist, you weren't able to do it.
Pardon?
You said
Yeah, that was a problem before.
Yeah,
and
now since last week
and you can just add it to
Okay, so I
Claude
should
Cloud.
just tell my guy, fuck Claude bot.
Yeah.
Just go straight to Cloud Code,
Yeah.
do the instances there, because we're building all these things and it's taking forever. It's like 2 weeks to build these things. I'd rather
You just need to have good systems in place. If you can,
like he's basically built like all these the managers I have understand how to build workflows with simple language in English. And stuff like that. That's what I've taught them. It's now just getting them to transfer their knowledge within AI versus telling some fucking Filipino using fucking prompts.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Try out with Shopify tonight.
Yeah, I'll try.
And then, let us know.
Question: do we need a VPS for using Cloud for separate?
Do you need VS Code?
VPS.
Oh, VPS. No, not for Claude Cloud, because it's hosted on Claude's own cloud server. You can link it to another server, or if you want it to be really safe, you can use your own device. So it's really up to you. What I maybe get a. Yeah, Claude Cloud is sort of its own VPS.
It just came out, so this is new. So now the VPS
Yeah.
now cloud. It's so fast.
This stuff is happening so fast. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this means because Claude Cloud just comes on, and it's a really easy like update that's there. Like you don't have to add anything integrated.
You have to set it up in the beginning, and in the beginning you have to set up, link it to Claude Cloud. So you just have to push to GitHub and link Claude Cloud to your GitHub repository. But realistically, you don't need to do that you can if you want to, but it's not really that big a deal from having it run 24/7 in the background. That's a bit AI hype. It's like you see all these YouTubers, I've got my Claude working 24/7 for me, but like, what is it doing? Like,
You're just scheduling specific workflows happen at specific times.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Question. Yesterday we had a podcast, and then you said in the morning I scheduled like tests.
Yeah.
To run. What are those tests you run?
Oh, yesterday actually, perfect example. I told it, this is what I was saying earlier, the 15 greatest thinkers, Ray Dalio, Warren Buffett, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, all of that, and I got to create skills about that, and then I just created in 15 different instances, and then came to do the podcast with you, and then I came back home and everything had been synthesized into one big document.
Second question, Nash said also, you have 20 YouTube channels you scrape for new information. That covers a lot of new information coming out. To what if there's like 0.5% of information it doesn't cover? Like, does it ever get through? Like, black swans of information?
Yeah.
The same way it processes it transcribes it and gives you the best information based on context. Is there also like a black swan of information you don't get, which if you would have done it, give me more results?
Yeah, it really depends. Is that 0.5% of data really going to hinder you? And if so, then you can make the setup more extreme and tell it to scrape the web, do extreme deep research, scrape the web 3-4 times, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it really depends. It's like the 80-20 rule. You can automate everything, but why automate everything? And even, like I was speaking about earlier, Elon's got this 4-step framework he calls the algorithm. Step 1 is question the requirements. Step 2 is delete everything necessary. Step 3, simplify it. And then step 4, automate. Automate's the last one, because there's no point automating something when it doesn't need to be done. And there's no point simplifying something when you can just delete it. So I'd say apply that logic. You can do everything, and this is what someone made the point earlier. You can do everything with Claude. You can do everything to a certain extent. You'll figure out the limitations. But do you need to do everything? Is it going to increase your data? Is it going to increase the speed of execution and therefore in turn generate more revenue? And if that's your goal, then apply
But
that.
also that 0.5% of information it could have missed. There's like, if you had watched that video yourself, you would have not.
You'd have to probably watch like 3 hours of,
You
or
know.
like 8 hours of YouTube content to obtain that 30-second excerpt.
It's like in the morning you open your phone and see like a 3-minute digest.
You know what, actually, the other, I'll get to you, Chris. The other day, I saw someone build a Claude thing which just scrolls Instagram every day. Scroll Instagram for a few hours in the morning to see what, like, evaluate the trending stuff, but like see the visual hooks and all of that stuff, which is, so like, if that was valuable to you, if you're doing content, and then you can think of a flow like that. So, yeah.
So taking into consideration the algorithm and simplifying. So yeah, it was OpenClaw, and then 72 hours later it was Claude Code, and I was like, what the fuck? So on my computer, the intention is to have Claude Code and executive assistant, basically. The idea with my leftover Mac that's just kind of sitting around not doing anything anyways, was to kind of create a COO that would operate on that Mac. Now the reason I wanted to do that, at least my understanding, was to kind of create a level of safety, so that this one was essentially just telling this one to do all that crazy stuff that needed to be done and not having any access to sensitive data. Any purpose of doing that, or is this thing truly just a paperweight and I can do everything off Cloud Code?
You can put all those files onto your Mac Mini and run it from there. If you don't want to do it in the cloud, if you want safety. Is it worth?
Like is it redundant for me to operate two machines, so to speak, when I can just everything Cloud Code?
What's the goal? What do you want to do with it?
Well, just more or less for safety purposes. Like again, the concern is on my computer, Cloud Code turns evil and absolutely fucks me over. Spends money that something along those lines. Just being pragmatic with caution and not the techie. So I figure if I can operate from a secondary unit that is a standalone and have some sort of barrier there that I wouldn't have to worry about this one going nuts, and Baxter, my little executive assistant, would just have protocols to direct the CEO on another computer. So could it just be that the executive assistant is just the COO on the computer and the Mac isn't really necessary for anything outside of storage?
It depends what you're going to be using Claude Code for. If you're trying to get it to do what a human would do and just execute stuff and like go and search the web and click buttons and all of that kind of stuff.
Very much administrative.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, why don't we just audit you basically on what you're doing, and then we can see like what we can do then. Can you do that in front of everyone?
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to just explain briefly the company? So.
Right. So I have a brokerage, right, and we operate in sales and rentals. So I have a website that has a back end. We operate the back end for CRM that I've created.
What's the CRM?
So again, Superbase being the storage for Lovable, right? Website is just me typing, prompting, and not even prompting, but just explaining and it creating what I need on the website and then on the back end, right? So that would be the website side of things. Administration side, old school, Google spreadsheets. I'm very meticulous on the spreadsheets, but it's all manual. But I take the data from submission forms for inquiries and listings, and I take that and I remove that from the back of the website to the spreadsheet, so that I just have something that's separate from the actual website in case there was some packing or something there. Right? So from a admin perspective, I would like to automate this whole process: submission into website, listing listed, data for the listing in a master spreadsheet, and that process alone would save a redundant amount of time, or an abundant amount of time. And then we started that process.
Yeah.
So everything else would be just engagement, interactions on WhatsApp, on different socials, and ensuring that there's a prompt follow-up procedure. But that's just something I know that we just kind of create once I've sorted the admin side.
Yeah.
So if I have an admin side that's sorted, I've shaved back 10 hours a week, right? And I have my other staff now focusing on other lead generating activities, and then I can start to build up the framework on the sales side of things. But implementation of the admin side, which is my bottleneck on time, that would not work.
And what's the biggest time-consuming part?
That part, for sure.
Of the whole thing.
Things are coming in, just people asking questions. It's a submission form. Getting that data in, getting listed, getting that smooth process, making sure it's been approved by owners. So there's just layers that the delay should only be external to to the business, right? Waiting on an owner to get back to me, waiting on a buyer to get back to me, somewhere in that chain.
And you have internal companies' SOPs on how you would reply to the messages and...
So it is just plugging the SOP in and allowing Claude to then start to work on Lovable, work in Google, and make this all move smooth.
Cool. So, yeah. Thank you, Trevor. So, how would you do it with a normal employee? How would you, say if you were to...
Basic instruction.
Yeah.
Sent off the Loom video. This is how you do what I do. I usually do it in this format. And then I can review, approve. Once we're approved, we pitch it external.
And have you tried that with Claude?
No, so didn't try it with Claude because I wasn't sure how I was actually doing it.
Yeah.
The idea of just saying, hey, Claude, do this. Claude hasn't controlled the computers yet.
Yeah. I would not recommend saying everything you've just said to us and put it to Claude and say, oh, go out and do it. Because first you need to create the operating system.
The system itself.
The operating system.
Give
So,
it data on what it needs to do.
So connect all those data sources.
Okay.
Connect, for example, I assume you speak with ChatGPT or Claude more? Claude. Everything's, okay, so it's already saved in Claude. Yeah. Maybe what you could do is go into the Claude settings, extract all your memory, everything it knows about you regarding real estate, or whatever the...
Well, I was doing ChatGPT before, but I can just take a markdown file.
Yeah, exactly. Okay then. So just so all your data's in one place.
Okay.
All your SOPs, it knows everything about you. It knows does it know what your goals are, your ICP, who you want to target? So it's got all of that information. Then you just treat it like a normal employee. How would you train that employee? You do step 1, and then you'd see if it can execute step 1 correctly. Is it having a bottleneck? Is there anything slowing it down? Oh, because it doesn't have access to this data source, or it doesn't have access to my way of thinking around here.
And it would be smart enough, obviously, to be there to say, I can't do this because I need this based on SOP.
Exactly, and then you can tell it. Explain to me step by step, how do I do it, so you can do it. You can. I normally finish my prompts by saying, if there's anything else you need and you can't achieve, just walk me through step by step how to give it to you. And
so just doing this off the computer, the other one's just paperweight. Right?
Yeah, but it depends. Maybe if you want to be more safe or use that, but like at the end of the day, you're always on that same one computer. What's the point going to another one? Like simplify the requirements, or first question the requirements. Yeah. All right. I want to make this as useful to as many people as possible. So anyone else got anything that you're just baffled by what we've just been speaking about? I know we covered a lot, and I can imagine maybe you're overwhelmed. And if so, just ask any questions away. We've probably got 15 minutes.
At the end, you'll show us like how to first do the step 1.
Yeah, exactly.
What needs to be for operating system, and then
directly on Code Code, like how do you get started with that?
Okay. That was the end of the presentation.
Oh,
Okay, so what I've got in place, you guys can see my screen? Yeah. Okay, this is just a little dashboard I built. It's got everything just sort of noted out here. Just the ultimate command center, what's been achieved in the last week. 45 plus creators, memories.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Reaction.
Skills, and like for example, this is what I was talking about, the YouTube video intelligence. This is all the YouTube videos it found, 27-minute video, 7 out of 10 relevant, 7.3, whatever. It's going to be relevant to me. Then
relevant directly to your context of
direct. This is what, and I'll probably get a Telegram message on this, or I did get a Telegram message this morning. And then all of this other stuff we've been doing earlier. I just triggered one 2 hours ago while we were having our lunch. So that's, you can trigger it from anywhere. Now, let's see.
So what is this interface that you're using right now?
I just, yeah, go for it.
Is this like your app?
Oh, I just told it to visualize all the data I have, and it created this. And like this doesn't look like you've seen. How many of you have seen vibe-coded AI softwares? It looks like blue, purple gradients. Looks vibe-coded AI softwares front end.
Yeah.
You can, if you've seen, it's like really terrible. You can you can sense an AI site from a mile away. Maybe as a non-technical person, but like if I can see the blue purple gradients because like that's the signature. It's like the MD dash M dash. And anyway, this would probably look like a high-end software if it was built by someone. So I've built a skill to create good front-end softwares. So just like little skills like that.
Is this natively in Cloud
Yeah, this is actually, I deployed it. So, like for example, I've got Alex Hormozi, all of these people brainstorming my ideas back and forth. We've got whoever else, Naval Ravikant, Peter Thiel, whoever.
How did you create any of this like character?
Oh, so this is what I was telling you I did yesterday, or I did a few of them yesterday.
So this is, each person is one skill.
Exactly.
That's
yes.
a skill.
A skill on Jeremy Haynes, skill on Matt Gray, skill on
And you
Samuel
okay,
Leeds.
go on the YouTube, get all the videos, go on like scrape all the data. And
Exactly, yeah. And I've actually created skill. Let me show you. Pardon? Those messages are. I just created it. I asked it this morning to visualize it, or just so if you guys wanted to see, visualize. So I would not work in that interface, but because this is the interface I work in on a daily basis. But I guess you guys probably wouldn't be too interested in something like that.
Why? You just feel like.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
You can put more. This is where everything's built.
But this is where Archie will see me all day long. And for example, this is cursor, and like this should not be like. Don't be intimidated by this. This should not be the average workflow. Like if probably as you get more advanced, this will probably you'll probably understand it a bit more. But like it's got everything on here. It's got my GitHub. It's got Playwright MCP. Playwright, if you want to note that down, is a really valuable thing to allow you to control your browser. So Playwright, yeah.
What does it do?
It controls your browser, so it moves your mouse around.
Oh, okay.
Playwright.
That's the one I can basically.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's got memories, it's got personal brand, presentation, research, anything. And if you look into any of these files, for example, it's got, let's say research. It's got like all of these files, like Mastermind research, LinkedIn strategy, contents, relevance AI, generational wealth, Hormozi AI
open
messaging.
Up one of them, what does it have in there?
Like, for example,
Open Hormozi.
Let's see.
Open Hormozi. The $6,000.
This one. For example, it's got all the transcripts of his videos. It's got all of this. And as you can imagine, it's quite a few. Then it's just got.
So that's just basically all the data that you have.
Yeah, this is all.
Specific thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you ask Anthropic to organize it?
Pardon?
Do you ask Anthropic to actually, or whatever?
Oh, I say.
Organize in the. Because obviously, first organization, then.
Yeah, but you just have to give it a prompt and say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all of this. None of this is set in stone. I can tell it to optimize it, organize it, better naming conventions, or whatever.
That's why I just screenshotted it, put it in, and I was like, organize this all better for me. It literally just gave me like an SQL command and it just did it.
And then, okay, so what I was saying earlier about you can do backslash in, so this is in VS Code. This is now very technical. Like, I can imagine if you're intimidated, don't worry about it. But you can go into backslash and then you can type plugin. And then you can manage plugins. And then Claude has this plugin library where you can then download new plugins. For example, I've got all of these plugins, but there's a security guidance plugin or whatever this is, PR review, and I can install it if it's relevant to me, and I've got all of these ones I've built in, so CodeRabbit, whatever these. And then this is what I was talking about, the marketplace, the official Claude marketplace.
So obviously this is not a Cloud Code terminal, but regular Cloud Code.
Yeah, I'll show you regular Claude Code.
I think this is
This
really,
is
you can do like 80% of what you do.
Oh, look, while we were talking, the new update happened. What did I tell you?
What happened?
Yeah. But like, for example, this is Claude Code.
Okay.
And this is where you'd probably interface with it. See, it's connected to Alex Assistant, and it's connected to default cloud environment. So now I can access it from my phone and message on the Claude desktop on my mobile app, and just message here and go.
So Claude Code is better than Claude Chat. Claude Cowork is.
Think of it like this. Claude Chat, you can ask it, and Claude Chat can use skills, plugins, all of this stuff. But Claude Code, and what did we learn earlier about Claude Code? It's like code, it can execute anything on a screen because everything on a screen is code. So this can actually do stuff on your behalf. This can research.
Right.
And Cowork is like the awkward teenager in the middle. It's no. Like,
you not use Cowork.
Cowork's good, but
It's
like
better.
it's better than chat, but then worse than code.
Right.
It's like I think they built it out just for like a easier to use interface. Yeah.
What's the model that you use in the bottom row?
Oh, always use Opus
4.6.
4.6, 1 million, and then
Why?
yeah.
Most capable.
And this is what this was 1 million context limit. That's like 60 Bibles, so pretty a lot.
So that's the most expensive one, basically.
Yeah, but
fuck it, it doesn't matter.
Actually, I'm on the $200 a month plan, and I've never actually reached my limits.
Fuck, you know I'm still using ChatGPT, and it's kind of.
Are you serious?
Oh,
kind of
no.
fucked. I just talked to it, and because Claude didn't have the voice thing, so I never.
Oh, but
Use
this is how
Whisperflow.
this is how it works. I just do here, and I press the keyboard. Okay, I'm talking to Claude, and this is going to transcribe everything. And then actually, it is going to transcribe everything with correct punctuation. And if I stumble and say it's going to cut out that and it's going to just say whatever I just spoke about.
You put Whisperflow like this.
And then, for example, it's going to organize everything with correct punctuation. It's going to organize any times I stumble. For example, if I say blah, 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 oh, I meant blah, 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 it'll cut out that stuff.
So this is Whisperflow.
Whisperflow. WISPR.
You don't use the Claude native.
No, this is just far more efficient.
And then for team, we're talking about Claude Code Team because that's better because now you can share.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, for example, if you've got 5 members on your team, you get all of them a $100 a month plan, and they can share stuff between it.
So
okay, that would be better.
Yeah.
How do you create the skill from there? So you're just gonna talk to it, like for Hormozi skill. Like, okay, I want you to go into like all the YouTube videos, his courses, his books.
Yeah.
How would you,
I'll show you.
would you go about it?
Let's do it live. Let's do. Who guys do you want to do some research on?
Hormozi.
We've done Hormozi. Let's do it.
Can you do like what's it called? Like so in the PR space, there's a lot of what's it called? There's a lot of Brazilian marketers, right? So they have amazing podcasts in Brazilian. Can you tell it to go, all right, give me these transcribed, listen to this podcast, do it in English for me.
Yeah.
What's
the guy's name?
The YouTube channel is Vito. You pick any video there, and you say, all right, this is in Brazilian. Give me the notes on that.
So I've built in these skills called Creator DNA, Creator Deep Dive, and yeah, these are the only two ones I use on Creator. Creator Deep Dive allows me to transcribe all the videos on that person's YouTube channel, transcribe it with Amplify, right? But since I've already created it, I don't need to reference it. I just have to say, do deep research and extrapolate all the transcripts of this guy's YouTube channel and find everything and create a skill out of it and just be as extensive as possible. I want you to find his top 40 most viral videos and most value driven or whatever. And what's the guy's name?
The channel is Vito.
V-I...
No, V-T-U-R-B. Vito, but it's in Brazilian.
V...
It's in a different language.
V-T...
U-R-B.
U-R-B. Vito.
How the fuck do you know about this?
And then this is what I was talking about earlier. You got ask before, edit automatically, plan. If you're doing something which is like you think quite intense, like for example, I don't know, a really big thing, probably tell it to plan first. It'll probably get a better output because it gets to think longer. And then bypass permissions is the scary one, but it just does everything. Yeah, that I always use.
Also, when the effort, it starts at medium.
Yeah, exactly. And there's effort levels.
So this is basically the highest level. First you do Claude chats, and then do the Claude code, and then this is Claude.
But this is what you're doing now. You can do it also in
You exactly. You can do it exactly in the chat. You can do it in your chat, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on Telegram, you can do it anywhere. I just like working in this because I get to see all the files. Exactly, yeah. This is Cursor. Or VS Code Cursor, they're all the same thing. Anti-gravity is probably another good one. It's probably most user-friendly.
What is that?
Anti-gravity. Google anti-gravity.
Okay, wait, we stick with Anthropic, right?
Yeah.
We don't fucking
You'll be back in the AI revolution.
So I guess the first thing you should ask, like, what do you use? Liberty.
But these are all...
If you're getting like really overwhelmed, literally go on YouTube, search up course, and like there's a bunch of like free A to Z courses. Like Nick Sara has one. Nick Sara. It's literally all you gotta do, bro, is like think, fuck, what is my problem? Okay, Claude Code. How do I use that? Okay, Claude Code course. Search up Claude Code course, and there'll be 4-hour, 5-hour to sort by most view. That shit will like just run you through the fundamentals, just so you can understand it and get it set up. And it's like training wheels you can watch back. Just follow through so you know the process of doing. And bro, before you know it, within a
It's really not intense.
I think the biggest thing for me is like just not outsourcing.
It's, yeah, look, like literally I would recommend the first step, if any of this is too much, just open up Claude desktop app, play around with it, ask it, this is my situation, what are you capable of helping me with?
Or you can even explain it your situation, because there's a high chance that you don't actually need a Claude code for like 80% of the stuff that you actually want to do, right? So you can just evaluate it based on everything you want to do a deep dive audit into your business, explain all the issues, and then based on that say, what is the best way to utilize you, Claude, so I can get the best possible outcome?
For example, hiring, that's another thing that we are relatively looking on. When you did the hiring of the video editors, right? So it already knew all the information about your business. What I knew on your business was your goals, the background, ICP, and probably all the data that has been stored beforehand. And then it just went out without additional commands on how to find people or whatever.
Yeah,
or
you know,
did you prompt it
I actually told it, because I knew I was going to the gym,
Yeah.
I just said, do everything. And I wouldn't recommend, I'd recommend for at least the first few weeks, holding it, watching it, what it does, holding it step by step, like an employee basically.
Yeah.
And then once it's good enough, or once you've created, you think it's good enough, just say, I'm going to the gym, I'll be back in 3 hours,
Because
just
you've
do
done
everything.
so much and it's already learned from its past.
Exactly.
So with all the learnings, you always have something that just say store this based off of this. How does it architect the brain if you think about it, right? Like
Explain, let's
because that's what I was like, you really want to replicate someone and just
these are all the skills I've got, so it's
It's just backslash and you see everything there.
yeah, and like for example, I've got a blog skill because, or like for example, AI SEO check or. Everyone's going to have different skills, and actually a good one is compact. When you reach the 1 million context limit, you just do compact, and it just compacts everything. But look, don't worry about any of. I would say the first step.
Just show them the chat, man. Show them Claude Chat and how you can do the context documents and skills in Claude Chat to start with. Because you guys can do like 80% of what you need to do on this. Like I don't really touch Claude Code because Alex can touch it. Sounds hella weird. Whoa. But I mean, what do you actually need to do for like a CEO and operator's perspective? Like, what would you need to do on a day-to-day basis, which you couldn't do on Claude Chat if you was to use Claude Code?
The only thing you can do on Claude Chat, the only thing you can do on Claude Code is actually execute stuff on your behalf. Claude Chat is the ideation. But if you want it to actually do stuff on your behalf, go search the web.
And you can use Cowork to start with as well. Like you can schedule tasks on Cowork. Like I schedule all of my tasks to go out and transcribe YouTube videos based upon the outcome I want. And I set it as at 8 a.m. every single morning. It goes out, transcribes any new YouTubers which came out from the people I'm watching. And then it says, okay, Archie, you could change your strategy based upon this. And then if I approve it, then it can actually change the skills that I already have based upon that. So.
Yeah. Would you talk to Claude Chat first and then bring over to Code? Or you just use Claude Code, essentially how you would use Chat? Does that make sense? Would you ideate in Chat first and then bring over to Claude? Or just go to Claude
Just do it in Claude Code.
So Code is essentially Chat. It's just like, Code is Chat on steroids.
Yeah.
And obviously if you are rambling and shit like this and you phrase your stuff incorrectly, you'll just go and do it right away versus giving you kind of a document on what it's doing.
What
in Claude Code, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know, sometimes I talk in first perspective of like how I would do it to give it context.
Yeah.
Primarily in ChatGPT before I phrase the document.
Yeah. Just speak in any perspective. It's however you speak to a normal person.
Just one quick one. So that's the thing you had open before was cursor, and then you used like plugin that you showed me, and you'll run most of your stuff within there. You have all your files on the right, and they're all locally hosted, and then anything that you say just goes straight to there, and it's all done from that.
Exactly.
You don't even use the chat. You don't use any of it. You put it all in cursor.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
My whole day is just cursor, and yeah. So.
What's the difference between lovable and cursor? I hear like 50 different names every other week. So.
Yeah, lovable, bolt. We even did a startup like that once upon a time. All of these stuff is just using Claude or any AI model, ChatGPT, Gemini, or whatever, to generate code, and then it displays it in an interface. So whatever can be done in Cursor, whatever can be done in Lovable can be done in Claude Code. Because it uses the same models. The only real difference is just the scarier interface. And that's what people are, and that's why it's a $300 million company, or $3 billion I think now. And the only reason is because it relies on the ignorance of people not wanting to go into a terminal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All of these places, they use, like, Lovable hasn't created its own models.
Yeah,
generally, like, GPT discontinued Sora yesterday, or a few days ago. Remember Sora?
Yeah. And what was your name, Omar?
Jack. For me, I just talk to ChatGPT all day.
Yeah.
Organize all tasks for all my departments, basically.
You need to open a room like, hey, pull up like a PDF. That's what I did. You ask him to put a PDF of all the history about you, everything, and you check if the PDF is right. I had like, at first he gave me like a 10 pages PDF. Like, no. Then he pulled up like a 65 pages PDF, put it into Claude, and that's what I know.
Alex, how do you structure your Claude and tailor your bespoke skills for various clients within an agency, for example, where it's different goals, different
You'd create a different project for each client, and then you just work in that project, and
it knows what skill to go and work for you.
Yeah, because if you host it, if you put those skills globally, it'll apply to all of you. If you do it locally, then of course it'll be local.
So you can do it locally per project, you just adjust for a setting.
Yeah.
So you have local, and then it automatically uploads to GitHub at the same time, always.
Yeah.
Is there a skill to auto-upload?
Yeah, I've got a skill. Every time it does something, it also uploads to GitHub.
So whenever you have a new thing that you want to implement, you first do it well. Once it's valuable, then you automate or whatever the fuck and make the skill, and then you have that for the future. But first you do it.
See if it works.
See if it works, then you create the skill, and then you just continue.
Always have in your mind those 4 principles from Elon. Question it, is it actually needed?
You watch a Founders podcast?
Yeah, that's where I saw it from. Yeah.
He just released it too.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, talk about Founders podcast. I got it to transcribe all of Founders podcast. That's how I got the Peter Thiel, Carnegie, Rockefeller. So.
Yeah, my favorite is Rockefeller, the fucking letters he wrote to his son.
Yeah. All right. This is like now it's turned into like a fireside chat. Anything? Yeah, but like this is perfect. This is exactly what we wanted.
I was just going to say, all right, getting to the point. What is your offer? Like, how do you step into the house? Like, what do you?
Fucking self-service. I've been here for 5 hours.
Like, how do you guys get involved? Do you want to like consult? Do you revenue share? Give us the spiel now. We go to our trust.
No. Yeah, so what we can do is connect to the MCP so we can get all of your data. No, I'm joking. No. Yeah. No. Yeah, so I mean, we're working with Chris and a few other guys for specifically done for you, where we'll go into, for example, Chris's real estate company, not necessarily specific to real estate, and we'll implement these systems hands-on, and basically do everything that you would. We basically just would help scale like everything that we just spoke about today, implement those systems hands-on and focus on other areas. For example, Chris as well focused on hiring sales team, appointment setters, closers, everything to do with that. But also as well, we have like more of a done with you where we like consult on people. We'll sit down and actually consult and audit everything A to Z of what you're doing now. Things that could
give you the full framework, give you all of this file structure.
Exactly, and then give you all the frameworks of the actual systems that Alex and I are personally using, what we're using for our done for you clients, so that you guys can just put it straight into company and then, Like this, intelligently it does this stuff. Okay, while I'm transcribing, let me see if there's any English language episodes which we like. It's not a baby. You don't need to hold its hand. This stuff is super powerful. And once you've got good systems in place, and this is what we're talking about with the done with you solution. Okay. We get the systems in place. We exactly audit the business. We show them exactly how to do it. We'll give you the necessary frameworks.
Give you this,
so you can just implement them basically.
Like even like little ideas like the Trojan horse MCP thing.
I've organized all workflows I need to do on all of the businesses that I have that would actually increase the revenue that needs to be done based on my previous experience. It's just getting someone to actually implement all of it. So it's understanding on my side that would become more kind of scalable. So I guess how do you take a step forward with that?
We can have a coffee about that next week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyone else want to go more deep?
How long does this take? Probably this one will take like 10 minutes. But you can get it thinking for 6 hours. Like this, it's not like a 10-minute or like a 5-minute prompt. It will think for a long time. If you
to make sure it's like.
Yeah. Double check. Yeah.
Might be a stupid question. You said you need Playwright for it to open up browsers. Mine is just opening up browsers.
Maybe you've installed Playwright without Node.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because mine's doing
Actually, let me show you guys something.
Show something cool that would be like.
Okay, look, for example. Okay, for example, okay, this was the background music, whatever. See, there's a Claude, the Chrome extension.
Yeah.
You open it up, and now it can actually take control of your computer. And this is what I told it to do the other day. It's probably going to take a bit of time to load because it's Starlink.
We're using Starlink.
But what I can tell it to do is go to my subscriptions, extrapolate all my subscriptions, put it into a Google Doc, and then it's got all my subscriptions and why I'm transcribed to or why I'm subscribed to them. So then I can then take that Google Doc, put it into Claude Code, and then be like, I want you to take all the AI ones and then do daily research on their new videos.
Subscriptions from here.
No, this is not the transcriptions. This is just to gather the information.
But why would I even go here? I would just go to code straight.
Yeah.
So this thing is, I shouldn't use this thing.
What's the reason behind why you opened this versus just doing it on Cloud Code?
Because this actually has access to my real accounts. This has access to my personal YouTube channel. So it knows my personal YouTube subscriptions.
So
but when you use code, it opens up a browser using Playwright, but it's like a fresh instance. It doesn't have any of your data. That's what we were talking about, the data saving stuff.
Okay.
So it doesn't save your data if it's opening up a brand new browser and then using it, controlling it using Playwright. But for example, this, and this is just like another level, is it's actually using the web that you would be using. So.
I'm using Chat Atlas. They have something similar.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
The Atlas, this is better than Atlas.
Oh, this is way better than Atlas, yeah.
Okay, but it can click around, it can open my YouTube, it can open
exactly.
Drive,
Yeah.
Everything.
Didn't they come up with the Mac?
Hmm?
The Mac.
What?
You do this.
Oh yeah, actually yesterday, talking about this, Claude came up with an update for Mac, which can actually not just control your Chrome browser, but control your actual screen, or your actual desktop. So, for example, for example, you send it a message while you're keep going back to Omni, but while you're at the gym, say, I want you to go into my presentation folder, take this presentation, take a screenshot of it and send it to me via Telegram, and then for my meeting in 10 minutes, and then it'll do that from going onto your computer and then controlling.
Mac Mini still sounds powerful because if you have it 24/7 and your laptop's
Yeah.
closed, it wouldn't be able to do that. Rather in your Mac Mini,
Yeah.
if you have the dispatch, that's the feature.
That's true, but like, how often are you going to be doing that? If there's a real use case, then fine, but no need to automate everything.
Think about what you have to do.
Yeah.
Until.
Brother, why don't you use the Mac
Hmm?
Why don't you use the Mac?
Mate, I'm a developer at heart, and
You don't have a Mac.
no, this is some
Mate,
like
you,
16.
You know he's technical when he has a Samsung.
Yeah.
He has a bit tech, so we're not going to
It's a great debate.
Yeah.
So you still keep on fucking Windows because I saw on Windows as well.
Yeah. I like it. I probably should change.
Because that's the issue. I bought like a MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
but it's so much better than fucking.
Yeah, and I probably should change it. I know I'm probably going to change in the future. You know what's actually I feel like what's going to happen is these AI models are going to get so good, so cheap that you can run it and so small, but still as powerful. And then you can just run it on your computer while you're on a plane, and it's vibe coding and doing everything while you're on a plane in the middle of nowhere, and it can craft you up a business, and it does everything that's doing it right now without internet connection. And then when we get to that point, like.
Yeah, it's like if you haven't got a phone with code, it's like the server, it just gets shown
And then it's not even, and then for example, like we have glasses or we have brain chips, I don't know. This is like, yeah.
So how, for example, if you're hiring developers underneath you or people who are able to actually be empowered with AI, how are you hiring these people?
All of my developers are AI native. If they're not using AI, I'm going to be super disappointed.
So when you're onboarding them, what are you specifically?
Well, I've known them for,
the developer side of things, but just say on regular, say marketing.
You need to have someone that is either caught up with this world or has the attitude that they are willing to be in the woodshed and learn.
It's not that hard to really get to a good enough point, you know?
It's just something, how I'm looking at it is like I shouldn't be even creating up tasks anymore. I should probably just only learn this first before doing anything else, and then teaching my team on how to learn this first before they even do work, because in the day they're going to be so much slower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a point of having employees?
Yeah,
absolutely. It literally is making the other tasks which you can't do on a screen 100 times more important and 100 times more exposed, because that's now is going to be the difference between you and a competitor. Like, how good are you at building a sales team? How good are you at building culture where people actually really want to work for you and are going to give everything for you? You know, that's why we can focus on the things that like drive the needle the most in your company, you know?
People still around the world, that's it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's only this is what I love about an event like this. Like, we're just shooting shit, just talking and brainstorming ideas. And that's the value, because that has allowed us to, imagine right now we've all got 30 Claude instances doing actually the boring work that we don't have to do in the background.
So an instance is a task that's already operating.
I've got 1 instance, 2 instance, 3 instance, 4 instance. Yeah, I've heard. There's a lot of hype around everything. I try not to.
Bullshit. Like anything instead of.
I tried to install Obsidian the other day. Obsidian, it's just a bunch of.
Can you create Obsidian? Can you create Obsidian?
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah.
Because that confused the shit out of me when I saw it before, but it made total sense. It's just a genius concept.
But there's a lot of just hype out there. It's like people are creating tools for the sake of creating tools, and like at the core thing, does it relate to revenue growth? Is it going to make you more money? Is it going to improve your business?
Just in terms of business expansion, you know, I do growth operations, backends, and we implement backend around 15-20K for backend. Now, I told you 80% is always the same, and then 20% is like adjustments based on requirements. Would you say make a general thing and people can access it and build on their own, like a sort of do-it-yourself, or is it just done with you and implemented?
Because in growth operating in your industry, for example, like what are the most important things which do drive the lever the most? Like the closers and the sets, really, they're the ones that create the cash, you know? Like it depends, like you could do it done with you, but I know a few people in the info industry, someone like Sawyer and Max Inhouse, I mentioned him to you today, is they do, for example, they'll do exactly what you just said, but then they'll do ongoing consulting sessions to make sure that that business owner or that info product owner is still dialed in on like their actual ability to build a team, to hire the right people and things like that. So it depends what you want to do. If you want to upskill them in terms of those main areas which are now going to be the most important and the highest focus, because they're the things which aren't so easily automated, or if you would rather just do it done for you, you know?
Yeah, this is personal preference.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
But if you were to have 20 clients, you'd have to do like 20 one-on-ones a week, for example, to make sure they're on it. And if you want to, like, it depends what kind of business person, what you enjoy personally the most.
Yeah,
you know.
for me, it's just selling the thing, and I can, if I want, I can sell like 6 of these systems this month.
Yeah.
It's relatively simple to set up. And instead of managing people, all those calls, it's...
Yeah. I think the answer is you can do both, really, if you wanted to, and then just find whichever one you enjoy the most and move. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Before we know it, you've got a split screen, the mirror all to the top, it's loud as touched at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. But this stuff is like literally making you like a superhuman now. You know, you can literally do anything. It just comes. It's the movie Limitless. Like literally, like you are limited by yourself, and yeah.
So we talk about closers and setters, and I think like closers you can't really replace with clouds, but setters you can, right? You can like creating a bot maybe. Or
So DM setter or phone setter. So DM setter, yeah, of course. You can use things called mochi, where you can, which is like the same thing as mochi.
Who's paying you to say mochi?
Yeah, you can use like ManyChat, mochi, and like tools just to.
But you use ManyChat, and then with cloud you make sure like you can put AI in the ManyChat.
ManyChat has Claude in, like you can now plug Claude into ManyChat.
Yeah. Yeah, but it goes back to thinking the same thinking principles of like, does this actually need to be automated? You know, like if you have a setter that you give them 5% for DM setting, then maybe.
I have setters, but I feel like if the leads have messages like quicker, then it's better, right? And
You mean phone setters or DM setters?
no, DM setters. Like if there is a bot who can like DM like 1,000 people in one, like it's easier.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think like Alex will. I mean, I think that was there a year ago, right? Like just automatic. Do you still have manual DM setters You still have manual DM setters, or?
Yeah.
You do?
We're looking into the AI manual still.
Yeah.
We're working with personal brands, and if you fuck up something like Mochi, for example, Mochi has the AI function.
Yeah.
And there was one thing. Okay, a lead said my mother just died, and then followed up after a month. Oh.
How was the funeral? Yeah, but something like that, like with the industry, you're gonna want to go more and more like as personal as you can. So.
With sales, it's a bit like it has to be human.
So MOCHI can basically now connect to as an API to 11 Labs, so that you can send a text and it turns into a voice note of your voice, and then you can send that, and then it's more personal. But yeah, and then like phone setters, like there's AI setters, but like personally it doesn't. Like the only way in which AI setter would be better than a normal setter would be if your systems aren't good enough in terms of speed to lead. But if your systems are in the sense of like the leads are getting called within 5 minutes, then it's better to have an actual appointment setter rather than that.
Yeah. So in that instance where if you had an AI that's doing DM response, and you're worried about mom's funeral, would it make sense to have an agent that always reviews every response before it's sent out, even sent out to be a voiceover or sent directly to the client, to ensure that the integrity of the message and the integrity of the actual conversation doesn't get compromised by an agent that just didn't really recognize what it was doing?
Yeah, probably they're using ChatGPT or something. As the models get better, the sentiment analysis gets better as well. You can either have like an agentic workflow that says double check this and then double check this, and fine, you can do that. Or as GPT 5, 6 or whatever comes out in the future, they'll have just better world understanding and motion, sentiment. When I was doing a software development company, like a few grand a month, around like $8 grand a month. To be honest, the main expense, or Claude, the $200 a month plan is such a hack, because I'm using it all the time. And if I was to use the API of Claude, it'd probably be a few $1,000s a month. But it's capped at 200, and then it just resets and I've never reached that limit. What do you mean? No, using the $200 a month plan, like say if you keep using it, like run 50 things, eventually it'll be like, oh, we can't do any more. Your limit resets tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then you just come back at.
You're doing a good job to hit it on.
But I'm very impressed if you hit the limit. Like it's hard work. You have to. Yeah. You're on the what? 20, 100, 200?
So my personal is 20, with business is the max.
Yeah, then use the business. Because 20 barely gets you anything.
Yeah, so it has APIs in it.
Yeah. It uses something, yeah. Yeah, just get the 100 or 200. That'll be far, far more valuable. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Just, yeah. For what? We started at 6 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock now. 3.5 hours talking about Claude. Crazy.
Just a quick idea, because I would be so down for this, I don't know about the rest of you, but like AI club, bunch of nerds get together once a month, and we just discuss what we're doing and like bring laptops, show each other, ideate, brainstorm. I would love to like just have a little look into each other's things and go, that's a brilliant idea, and here's one for you know, like kind of have that. If anyone else would be keen, you guys keep talking and I'll listen, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Do you go into saunas?
Yeah, that'll be.
Which sauna, which gym?
Omni.
Omni, yeah.
Let's do AI.
Yeah, AI club.
Huh?
You had reloads.
Yeah, but now I'll come back to Omni. Yeah.
Okay, we all switched to Omni from now on. Yeah, we're Nirvana.
Yeah, but to be honest, the Nirvana saunas are way better. The conversations in Nirvana are better. Omni is like a bit too quiet. People aren't talking too much. Yeah.
You guys should the girl complaining that we were talking too loud in the sauna.
Who?
Talking about like it was with Lee.
I hear the sound of money.
Was this Nirvana?
It was in Omni, bro.
Oh.
In Omni? Yeah.
I've heard this in Nirvana as well.
No, Nirvana changed. We kicked that person.
But she was like, oh, this is a shallow talk talking about views and stuff, and we were talking about that, we're talking business, and it's like, and it's good because it was Lee talking, and he like kept it really cool, you know. And I was like, bro, if this guy has like, he with me, I would like.
Who's Lee?
Huh?
Lee?
Lee, it's
we do the e-commerce brand together.
Oh, your business partner.
He's big on KG. We're talking about like views and like how many million views he made on this video and like how it led to monetization and they got.
So that's the thing. Like some of the videos have like 500 million views, 50,000 comments, but they've never been hit with custom messaging, and they get DMs every single day. So you're able to like have that mass army communicating with this kind of a creator. It's
Yeah.
very powerful.
There's so much like me milked out of it.
So that's what I wanted to chat with you. Yeah, because it's fun. It's like, and they think he's God. Literally. The amount of emotion that can take.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. I'll see you around at Nirvana. Thank you.
I'm inspired. Thank you.
Thank you. Just let us know if you
start
need
the
anything.
cloud code for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'll change.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll change it.
Yeah.
Well, feel free, message me anytime, and we can always catch up, get coffee.
Oh, we'll do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
No worries, man.
Mustafa, my man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Your name was?
Ollie.
Thanks for coming down.
Archie.
Yeah, you learned something?
Yeah.
I learned I need a done for you service. That's what I learned.
Ah, okay.
Hit us up, we'll get a coffee, we'll
Yeah, let's do a
come
coffee.
around to our villa, we'll
Yeah, you
do a
can,
nice
How long are you guys doing Bali?
We're not really.
Very good, yeah.
We were supposed to, yeah,
So you're staying for a while?
maybe about a month or.
Okay.
Depends how it goes.
Yeah, because I'd love to do this.
Go on.
You know, you could just go really deep, with the AI
Yeah. Do
creative.
you want to just do a thank